Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Prepare for face cam in 5, 4, 3, 2, and there we go. How you doing, everybody? It's been a while. Kept you waiting, huh? How y'all doing? Let's see. I got my chat over here. Hello. Congrats on reaching 10K. Thank you, Firehawk. Howdy from Kingdom of Vinland. Molnir 4, ready for battle. Congrats on 10K, sir. Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Finally got through 10K already. Now we gotta go, what, 20K? 25K? Let's see. Silverfang 1, hello. Thank you again, sir. How's it going? So, I have no... Let me fix my camera a little bit. Okay, so, I have no idea how big this stream is gonna be. Honestly, I really don't care. What I'm here for is we're gonna celebrate 10K. We're gonna have some fun. I figured, why not enjoy our time by looking through some old videos of mine. It's gonna be a little bit of cringe, but not too bad. Hello, Raid Optics. How's it going, buddy? Salutis, are you still flying with the NRAF? NRAF being the Northern Navic Royal Air Force, just curious. Yeah, for role-playing purposes, yes, I am. Just for the hell of it, you know? Thank you, Raid, congrats on the 10K. Thank you, sir. I really am, I know, I was excited during the change when I saw that I had 10K and I got the notification, but right now, I mean, it's just been so busy lately, which that's another reason why I want to explain why I've been gone for so long, as school year. Not that I'm going to school, I work at a school, and yeah, it's been quite a while. Not only that, but also you know, me having a kind of a little bit of an inferiority complex on drawing, where I want to try to get better and better over time, but I am very impatient and stubborn, so I want to make it faster, quicker. So on the screen right now, as you can see, you know, even if I get my face cam out of the way, is what I currently have up as drawings recently. Oh, we got more people coming in. Hello, everybody. Hang on, I'll get right to you right now. Oh, So I was having a mediocre day. This will be fun. Well, I hope so. I hope I can provide. Not Baltic Gamer. Hello, sir or madam, whichever you are. Let's face it, though. Like 99% of you guys of my viewers are literally dudes. Manny, for congratulations on 10K, mate. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, Soul, congrats at 10K. Thank you, Thunderous Wolf. First time I see your face, your actual face. That's crazy. Hey. Well, this isn't the first time I've been showing it. You can see it again. Don't be a narcissist, Soul. Don't be a narcissist. That is the lesson of the day. Tomas, congrats on 10K. Thank you very much, sir. It's interesting that your character is Sapinish Ocean. It's great. Mine is a Rusian Ocean. Wow, I cannot talk today. Holy crap. Yeah, I went with Ocean Sapinish because kind of like connection with the real world a little bit. Just a little bit. It's just a little bit of fun. And I'm flying with Northern Navic, so you have no idea where I'm at. The drawings are awesome. Thank you, Silverfang. It's a lot of I'm gonna say it's, I forgot what the term was called. It was called hang on, let me get my screen back up. I'll even like move my camera to the side a little bit. Ooh, tiny, so you can see more. Daniel Maloney, hello. How are you today? I would say with the drawings here, what is it? Imposter syndrome. That's the word that a lot of artists struggle with, is imposter syndrome, and that's what I do not want to continue on, which is a very, 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 very hard habit to break, believe it or not. A lot of my time when I'm not drawing scenes for the videos, a lot of my free time is spent on studying drawing. So a lot of times I'm on YouTube watching a YouTuber and professional artist named Ethan Becker. Very good channel, very good artist, professional artist, mostly animation, but that's what I feel like personally, that's what I need. Learning how to like draw an animation style, because it just, you need to get down, get the line down, just go. And it's turns out a lot better, and I'm actually quite excited to show you a couple more scenes later on this week that I'm working on, especially with the next lore video that I want to try to come out. Next lore video, I would really like to get it out at the end of May, but I don't think that's going to be possible. It might be at the end of June once summer vacation hits, and then I want to just keep on going and going and going. And you guys have been very, very patient. I feel very, very terrible leaving you guys on in the void, like just leaving you not in the loop, you know? So that's why I try to, like, I'm always active on Twitter as much as I can be, Discord. I try to post as much on the community channel as possible. But you know, I'm very bad at it. I'm very bad. Prince, hello. No, you did not miss anything. Kevin Galego? No, Galego. Kevin Galego. Hey Eversoul, longtime AC fan and sub. Well, thank you. I'm glad you joined. I will say a lot of you are big AC fans. But I also hope that after we get through some of the AC stuff tonight, if you would be interested in watching me play some Elden Ring, because that is another one I've been trying to beat. Not that it's hard, it's just, it's very long. And I kind of restarted a little bit because I was trying to figure out a play style, but you know what? I gotta beat it, and I figured, you know what? I'll show you guys something. It'll be fun. Congrats on 10K, thank you. I'm good. I hope so. Belkin Witchcraft. That's been a long time since I've read that meme. We are a bunch of internet gremlins. Your life takes priority. No. You're Spriggans. Not gremlins. Gremlins bad. You're Spriggans. You got spunk. Vids channel, not many. Random vids channel, not many. With the salute from Kevin. Yes. Alrighty. So, enough trying to come up with excuses, which are not, but you know, main thing I want to do is I'm gonna, even when I'm not posting a lot of lore videos, main thing to let you guys know is more like artistry, kind of like more pictures, what I'm doing. So if I can just keep posting that, I hope that kind of keeps you guys in the loop and just know that I'm still active even when I'm not on all the time. It's just, you gotta kind of think of it as like me going to the mountains and kind of learn how to draw. Let's see, I'm gonna get this camera a little bit turned that way. And I'm gonna move my chair there. Okay. So, are you guys ready? So that's no problem. Your life is more important than us. No. I'm not saying it's not more important than you guys. It's definitely not. We all have our own life goals, life priorities that we have to take care of. And also, besides, I kind of set myself in a good spot where it's a history video style video. It's a history style video. So it's like I can put it up, even if it doesn't get a lot of views in the first month. Over time, it'll gain those views, and it's basically like a documentary. You can go back to it, you can watch it, or you can watch it later. That's what it's there for, kind of like an archive. So that's, you know, it's like kind of leaving history. But in Ace Combat, like pretending we live in Strangeville, that's all it is. It's a big old roleplay channel in a way. Let me see. Let me read up chat one more time. Stress. None of the Discord boys in here. Hey, Beater, what's up, man? Okay, you need, get them on them. Talking about Soul Server people. Yeah, get them in. Get them in. Soul Server. Actually, is that in the Laduhiki? Wow, it is not. Why is it not in there? We need to fix that. I gotta put in the L Discord server. Oh, no Microsoft. Bad Microsoft. Here, let me go to Twitter real quick. Also, the background music, that is a lo-fi 30-minute lo-fi from NetZone. So I will let him decide how he wants, if he wants me to play it or not. Afterwards, if he says no, you can't play them again, that's perfectly fine. How do I copy link? Save link as. Let's see. Let me go to my Discord real quick. No, that didn't work. Damn it. Alright, you know what? I'll just make a new one. Go into the server. So guys, if you haven't already, I'm going to create an invite again. Where are we at? Chat room. There we go. Souls Corner, invite people. This will expire. Let's see if this works. Ah. Publicly. Oh no. I can't. I'm having problems. I haven't really had to kind of mess around with the Streamlabs a little bit. First time using it. Let's see. Gonna reach out one more time and then we'll get the party started. Sorry about that. Keeping you guys waiting. Let's see. How cool is Rosgriz in the Ace Combat universe? Pretty damn cool. I will say that. Pretty damn cool. Scarlight, you're here. Hello, buddy. I know. How are you doing, man? Raid, Beater, anybody new? Did you hear? Okay, Soul, did you hear about the news regarding the Top Gun DLC? I did not specifically. I just heard there's going to be DLC. I will say I am going to be a bit optimistic for the movie. I will plan to go see it. I'm just a little nervous because it's a sequel to a long-time film. I have no idea if it's like, you know, they're gonna do a lot of nostalgia bait and it's gonna be kind of like, here it is, and doesn't really pay tribute to the original source material, you know what I'm saying? But who knows? I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna give it, you know, just give it a watch and then kind of give my thoughts on it. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, or all the gentlemen and the few ladies in my channel, to celebrate 10K and for over 3 years of drawing, just drawing and editing, I feel like we should go on a journey together, a journey of cringe, and we should watch all of my old videos. And I will provide commentary. And the problem is, I have not seen these videos in a long time. Which is surprisingly, once they're uploaded, it's done. I don't watch them again, and I just leave them. So I'll send these fellas an invite. Like, I'm trying! I don't know how! Here, I gotta go on my iPad. I feel ashamed. Oh, wait. Oh, I put it on announcements. I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hang on, invite. Copy link. Alright, chat. Right there, fellas. I think. Is it coming up? 10-second delay, I think. Hang on. There it is. Okay. Get right to it. If you haven't already joined, this is a 7-day link. I'll also put it in the not comment section too, all that jazz. Other than that, if you haven't joined, join the Discord server. It's very, very relaxed, very chill. You can hop in, lurk around if you want to, if you don't feel like chatting, or if you want to chat it up. Just remember, don't be an asshole. You only earn asshole status if, you know, good asshole status if, you know, you're making friends with people. That's how it is. It's just you're relaxed, we're cool, that's all it is. So no, don't worry about it too much. We'll let you know if you're crossing the line or not. Alrighty. So, chat, who wants to, what do you say you want to get started? Flashbacks to Soul pronouncing, oh my god, I gotta read that. Flashbacks to Soul pronouncing Gleipnir as Gleipnir in an old video of his. I'm gonna be swearing a lot, aren't I? I'm gonna have to keep this PG. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. So, you know what? Let's get this pod started. I'm gonna bring NetZone's video to low, pause it a bit. Alright. Gonna treat it like Moist Critical a little bit. Alright, you see that? We're all set. Okay, so what you guys want me to view first? I also realized I kind of delayed it a bit. So type in chat, what do you want me to see first? Very first, should we start with the very first one? God, look at that. Oh my god. 3 years ago. 49k views. Oh, you know what? Glad nobody really seen that one too much. Birth of Aerial Combat. That's a good one. Birth of Aerial Warfare. Okay. Just joined your server. Awesome. Enjoy your stay. Soul, don't laugh at my cringe YouTube name, Mining Doge Gamer. Mining? Why you mining Dogecoin? Why? Oh my god. Start from the beginning. Let's start with the first version. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm a bit delayed in the chat channel, but we'll be fine. How far am I delayed? Hold on. Alrighty, so I'm a bit delayed in the chat channel, but that's not too bad. Okay. Alrighty. So we'll do Preparing for Ulysses. God, I can't believe we're doing this. Okay.
Scarface.
Oh, dear Lord, no. Oh, God, that is killing my art. Okay. All right. It's pretty bad. There, probably gonna be.
Warning.
Okay, so I'm gonna provide commentary. I'll pause wherever I need it to. Let's enjoy the video, full screen. Let's rip this Band-Aid off, shall we? So when was this published? God, February 13th, 2019. Let's read the thing. God, let's see. You have permission to make... You also have permission to make fun of this person's channel, all right? Who we're reviewing. Here we go. Let's destroy him. You heard of the asteroid Ulysses in 1994 XF04, but do you know how Yuuzia prepared the impending impact? This video, hand-drawn cartoons are going to show you how the nations of Yuuzia prepared for the asteroid. So, I'm going to play this warning.
Warning. Warning.
You're about to watch hand-drawn cartoons reenact fictional events from the Ace Combat series. This video will be covering events leading up to the planetfall of Ulysses. It will contain spoilers to the games Ace Combat 2 and its remake Ace Combat Assault Horizon Legacy.
So, quick explanation. The idea that came to me, because this wasn't the first video I made. The other one wasn't even drawn as cartoons. It was mostly like my phone and then just using screenshots and other people's videos while giving them permission in the title, all that jazz. Because I wanted to talk about my excitement for Ace Combat. And that first video was the Strange Rail world. So kind of like giving like a pop quiz on the world of Strange Rail, all the continents and nations. I didn't like where that went. I took it off the YouTube channel quickly as soon as I put it up. And then I was trying to think, what else could I do that's kind of, a little bit different? How can I kind of present the lore for everybody? And then I was watching, I think it was an extra credits video. And then it just came to me and I was like, why don't I just draw it as like these cartoons? Let's just do that. And then it just kind of went from there, just like, let's do that. And then I thought, ooh, I'll do the warning like Sly Cooper did. Where he's like warning, kind of like the parody of the CinemaSins, where it's he's just doing it for fun. So that's what I kind of did that. It's kind of like a big warning, like these are not really good hand-drawn images, people. These are cartoons. It's gonna be bad, but here we go. Let's just enjoy the ride.
2 and its remake Ace Combat Assault Horizon Legacy. October 1994. Researchers from the International Astronomical Union stationed at Seals Bridge University discovered an asteroid within the solar system.
I'm gonna move my mic.
They name it Ulysses, and it is
Wow, look at that. It looks like
1.6 kilometers in
popcorn,
diameter.
dude.
What is peculiar
Oh,
about
dear
Ulysses
Lord.
is that it appears to be traveling closer towards the Earth.
No.
Just to be sure, the team at Seals Bridge sends the data to the researchers on the Kimona Islands.
Oh, that's not
The
bad.
team at Kimona work hard at calculating Ulysses'
Oh, dear
exact
God,
trajectory
what was I
using
thinking?
computer models.
Hold on. I can't. Oh, God. These were all, like, not Photoshopped, but these were, online images that I took. Like, I found an image of, like, a desk and a computer. And, hold on. What is my... Oh, my goodness. I remember now. Speaking of my resolution, it was at 720. That was the highest I could only do. I was so nervous to put it at 1080 because I didn't know if that would like be terrible for my internet connection at the time. Everyone starts somewhere, Soul. Yeah, they do. I agree. They do. They start somewhere, but that somewhere is not pretty. You kind of have a lot of pitfalls. Extra credits is sweet. Well, they were in the past, but I kind of veered away from them. That's also another reason why I kind of veered away from the style. Soulception. Kind of weird you didn't mention ACO4 there, huh? Oh, yeah. Well, there's a reason why, specifically, because in this one, it was more everything preparing for it, and that doesn't really touch on ACO4. I love how the asteroid looks like plutonium core. This looks like the demon core. Back in Los Alamos. Random Vids channel, my favorite aircraft, Wyvern, and Raven. Okay. I'm gonna keep playing.
December 1994, the team finally get the results. But it's not looking so good.
Oh, God. Oh! You guys like chicken and rice? The ranch? Ooh.
This mission is going to take you and your aircraft to the breaking point.
My name's Tom Cruise, Scientology, man. No. Shut your mouth, Soul. Okay, I just gotta skip the ad, okay? So, copyright. I don't know if it's gonna be copywritten, so I gotta be careful. Yeah, very first logo of the channel. It's just a raptor flying out of Garuda One's emblem and Solidus Eversol. That would be cool to make it 3D, but that's where you get the XFA-27 kind of popping out of the emblem. Advertising spies. Oh no. They know. Kono knows.
I think this calls for a little history lesson.
The researchers decide to share this news with leaders of the Federation of Central Usia, or FCU for short.
Okay, that's another one. Let's go back. Hear how I say Usia.
of the Federation of Central Usia.
Usia. Not Usia, Usia. Okay, there. I have a reason as to why. My first Ace Combat game was Ace Combat 5. My second one was Ace Combat 0, and then my third one was Ace Combat 4. So, once I got into 0, the nation of Ustio, I heard how that was pronounced, so Ustio. And then in 4, when I saw the name for Usia is not really said by any narrated character or voice actor. So I always assumed it was Usia, like Ustio. But then 7 came around the corner. I played 7. And then finally I just realized, oh, it's Usia. Oh, okay. I gotta fix that real quick. And I think I did for the third one, maybe the fourth one. I can't remember which one. Yeah, Usia. So, the Federation of Central Usia. Oh, darn it. That's the wrong button.
Or FCU for short.
Or FCU for short.
The computer model confirms that on July 3rd,
Begin simulation.
1999, Ulysses will pass through the Earth's Roche limit and break apart from the Earth's gravity. The Ulysses fragments would then bombard the Usian continent with an estimated force of 2 million.
That was just only
wolf-9.
3 images. Watch.
Ulysses will pass through the Earth's
It's gonna
Roche
be here,
limit
and then as soon as
break
it passes
apart
it,
from the Earth's
there,
gravity.
done.
The Ulysses
It's
fragments
like a little
would then
two big pieces
bombard
right there,
the
and then
Usian
I'm just gonna go
continent
whoop.
with an estimated force of
You won't see it, it
2
just happens
million
like
nuclear
that.
warheads. The ash and debris generated from the impact
And they're all gonna hit
plunged
simultaneously.
all affected areas into a nuclear winter. With news so dire,
Oh, exclamation marks. God. I was so nervous about drawing next. I can't recall how long ago that was. And all of this was on Microsoft Paint. I didn't even have like any
the FCU
drawing
decided to
a
withhold
drawing
the
tablet at this
impact
time.
confirmation from the public
Oh, we need a
until
plan.
A plan to combat the asteroid was developed. The leaders advised the researchers to continue to monitor Ulysses.
Continue your
and
research on
organize a
Ulysses.
meeting with the nation's Aerospace Society. They debated
All
whether
right,
or not
Prez, we got a
countermeasures could
problem
be
here.
taken.
So
The
this big
conference
hunk of
ended
rock
in
looks like a
clear
marshmallow.
consensus.
All right,
In order to combat
Don't tell
the
anybody.
asteroid, the FCU and the nations of
secret.
Usia
Okay.
must work together. Now, getting each of these nations to cooperate would be pretty difficult to pull off.
So right around here, I needed to put like a stand-in avatar, and I thought, I was so afraid to show my face at this point because I didn't know like how that would work out on the internet, and I figured I'll just put a helmet on. It's still technically me. That's what I imagine myself under there, but I find it funny now thinking like if I drew my face, people would recognize it when it's just a big floating circle above a box, an AWOL looking box. So I don't know. That was what I was thinking back then, but at least I was being safe.
Since each of these nations have a long
Even though I
history
couldn't
of
draw.
rising tensions. For example, hostilities were rising between the FCU
Those darn
and
Erusians.
the Federal Republic of Erusia.
Look at them, they're just
That
over
same
there
year.
Erusioning
Unlike
it
the
up.
FCU, Erusia was known for its militarism and expansion.
Oh, I took inspiration from ACF's
many of its smaller neighbors
fan
in the
map
past.
for one of his videos.
Now it appears as if Erusia was preparing to invade and annex Amber
Look at
and
those things.
Ugel.
Who wants to be annexed?
But the FCU
Oh!
responded.
Okay, here's another thing. I think I made a mistake here. So when I was researching back then, I was trying to figure out where Amber and Eugelis was. I think I might have gotten the wrong map. I think I've gotten one of the old fanfic maps. I know San Salvation's over here. I don't think this is Amber. I think Amber's down here. And I think Eugelis is still right there. But this is an incorrect map. I think Erusia's correct, but this one I think is incorrect for Amber. I definitely need to get fact checked. Buenas tardes, Sol. Hello, Hamlin fan.
By stationing its forces
It's like a
along
year or
the
two after
borders of
release, I
Erusia
learned of
in order to
AC7.
deter any invasion attempts. The two forces would remain in a standoff until April 20th, 1996. the day when the FCU president Robert Sinclair disclosed the existence and impending impact of Ulysses to the public during a press conference.
Love how Erusia
With
represents
news
as Napoleonic
declassified,
France.
all
Yeah.
FCU forces
Very,
stationed
very
overseas,
expansionist.
including
RTP
forces
guys, we need
involved
to
in the
stop an
standoff with
asteroid.
Erusia, were recalled by Department of Defense
Oh, there they
Richard
go.
Payne in order to help with combating Ulysses. Later on that
Wait,
same
what
day,
asteroid?
FCU
Oh, dear
Secretary of
Lord.
State,
Hi, dude.
Stetson, attended an emergency meeting at the Central
These are my glasses, and here's our PowerPoint presentation. See this white screen on white background with some blue? Yeah, you're thinking right there, Mr. Blonde Man. Look at you. Yes, here's the plan. It's just white screen. We all go to heaven.
Usia Treaty
Let's go to heaven.
Organization Headquarters, or UTO for short. Think of the UTO like an Usian UN. At the meeting, Statesman proposed that a national missile defense system would be the most viable
That's
option.
where Fortress
National
Intolerance
missile
kind of
defense
started up.
infrastructures would be set up across the continent, where it will identify an asteroid fragment and launch a surface-to-space
Oh
missile
my
in order to
God.
destroy the target. The UTO members.
Oh,
hesitated
okay.
that it
So
will
biggest change I will do, for a possibly planned remaster of this video, is don't have the asteroid fly in a straight line. Kind of have it fly in a diagonal, like it's approaching the planet. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just orbiting the planet. That's what I was thinking at the time. But next time it's just gonna fall and just have the missile fly into it. I'll just do that. I gotta keep that as a note. Let's do that.
identify an asteroid fragment and launch a surface-to-space
Notes on here.
missile in order to destroy the target. The UTO members hesitantly agreed with the plan, and Fortress Intolerance, which was initially scheduled to be demolished, was instead repurposed to become the first national missile defense system. However, before more national missile defense systems could be created,
Yeah, we all go to
the
heaven.
UTO
That's the
chose
plan.
to abandon the project,
Let's go to
fearing
heaven,
that
you
the
fellas.
missiles could potentially be used as a devastating weapon of war against each nation. Instead of using missiles, UTO decided to construct a satellite installed with 5 anti-asteroid laser weapons that
Okay.
could destroy any fragment.
Okay. I'm proud of this explosion on Microsoft Paint. I used the airbrush. That was actually quite nice. Like, that's not bad. It's not a bad looking explosion.
outside of Earth's atmosphere. While the laser weapons were being developed, the FCU proposed another plan, Project Space Guard Turret Network, aka Stonehenge.
I like this one.
Stonehenge was a circular complex that housed 8 large railgun cannons that was capable of firing armor-piercing explosive or specialized anti-asteroid rounds within a radius of
Okay. I see where I didn't use straight up black for the outline. I kind of used like a darkish bluish gray. And funny enough, that's what I'm using for my outlines now when I draw. I kind of like that little subdued fade to it. And that, I think that's a big reason why I like the circle right here. It's just really nice. Also, it just kind of looks really good.
of 1,200 kilometers. Now, the science and how the turrets operated is really interesting, because the turrets were not true railguns. Instead, the cannons were electromagnetic launchers that
Oh,
operated
yeah.
on a hybrid energy principle. First, the cannon uses gunpowder to initially propel the projectile round.
Oh,
Like
you
a
know what? I'm going to have to
regular assault
redraw that
rifle.
as a
As the round
split
travels through the
cross-section.
barrel,
That'd be
it will
awesome.
pass between
I
two
like this one.
electrically powered metal rails that will accelerate
That's a
the
good
round
one.
for a maximum velocity of 6 kilometers per second.
There it goes.
In other words,
Pew.
the round would be
Well,
moving
I don't
at
like that part, the
17 to 18
shockwave part.
times the speed of sound.
I can make that a little better.
This hybrid propellant system would help prevent excess heat from warping the barrels. Also, Stonehenge's turrets were directed by a synthesized control network beneath the facility that gathered data from orbiting
Look at all those
satellites,
pewters.
observatories, and weather models in order to plot, track, and fire at the asteroid. The UTO members liked this plan, and construction began immediately. Usia had 3 ways to take care of Ulysses: 8 large railgun cannons, a nearly complete satellite-borne anti-asteroid laser system, and, as a backup plan, 1 national missile defense system. Everything seemed to look pretty good for the Usian nations, but a continental war would take place on Usia that would drastically affect Usia's efforts to protect themselves from Ulysses.
Was it called Fortress
Usian
Intolerance because
coup
those that built
d'etat.
it intolerant of
For the sake of the
asteroids?
video, I'm only
You know,
going to
maybe.
summarize this war since it is featured in the games Ace Combat 2 and
They're
its
like
remake, Assault
anti-space.
Horizon
They're
Legacy.
anti-space
If I
people.
discussed every single mission of these games in this video, we would be here all day and I don't want to bore you guys. Here we go. Two large nations, Osea and Yuktobania, finished winning a war against the nation Belka back in 1995.
Good lord.
Osea and Yuktobania are the superpowers within the Ace Combat series.
This
Fearing
one of these is my first map. I did on Ibis. I think this might be the first one I did on Ibis Paint. And I think it was on my phone. Yeah, that's the first time I used Ibis Paint because that's an overlay. I did an overlay on these, and then I just kind of photoshopped those on there on my all on my phone. I will say this, I did use Microsoft Paint, but what I did was I used the Microsoft Paint and then I transferred it over through iTunes onto my iPhone, and then I used iMovie to kind of put this all together. And I still do. I still use iMovie, and even with like the transition wipes, I kind of figure out how do I get a nice smooth transition with iMovie. And I really like kind of setting that up as a challenge for me.
Yuktobania are the superpowers within the Ace Combat series.
How could
Fearing
giant aerial
Osea's
super weapon
and
take off, including
Yuktobania's
Arsenal Bird
continued
doesn't have
growth
a
and
landing gear?
power, the nations of Usea all decided
Arsenal
to
Bird
band
had like
together
rockets to
forge
get it
an
off in the air, and it
alliance
just
known
doesn't
as
land.
the Usean
A
Allied
Gaion
Forces,
is.
in order to have a fighting chance against these
Is that on the
guys.
water? No, that was.
Osea did express interest in helping the nations
Almost said
of Usea
Gleipnir.
build
It's Gleipnir.
Stonehenge after the news of Ulysses
Fixed
was
it. I
disclosed
fixed
to
the
the
speech
public.
impediment problem.
But they were unable to due to being tied up with post-war reconstruction efforts. Although the Usean nations were unified, the southern nations were, let's say, not too thrilled to be part of the
Sure,
Usean
let's be
Allied forces.
allies.
Instead, they contacted Osea and chose to ally themselves with the superpower despite the northern and
Dude,
western countries'
WTF.
protests. On May 30th, 1997,
Oh, that's
the
kind
day
of
of the
clean.
signing of the Spring Sea Treaty.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Right there. That was my Easter egg. Explosively good. Belkin Inc. 7 times strong. For the 7 nukes.
Day of the signing of the Spring Sea Treaty. Conservative
God. Okay. This is like one of these meme pictures that I carry around. It's just angry rebels. Angry rebels. That's what they look like. That's what Araya looks like. That's what I see in my head every day when there's angry rebels. Just bald, angry rebels. One squatting, one covering his boobs, and he's covering his boobs, but he's looking the other way.
extremists within and outside the Usean Allied forces staged a coup d'etat on the entire continent. These rebel forces feared that the treaty would allow Osea to station its military on Usea, as well as take away all mining rights.
Also,
from
it is
the
illegal
Usean
for you
nations.
to mine resources.
The
They're
Usean
mine.
rebels
No!
quickly seized control of strategic areas
This
on
is
the
my
continent,
resources.
which included Fortress Intolerance and the Kimona launch site that housed the
Heck
5
yeah,
anti-asteroid
heck yeah,
laser
lasers.
weapons within the hangars.
Hell yeah.
The Usean Allied forces were overwhelmed and retreated to their final base on the Twinkle Islands.
God, I forgot how
But
memey this
the Usean
was.
Allied forces would go on to win the war after enlisting the
My attempts
mercenary
at being
pilot
funny are
Phoenix,
just
aka Scarface
a
1,
shame.
and Scarface Squadron to fight
Boy,
the
the
rebels.
paycheck better be
The war
good. God of
ended
War
on
boy.
September
Meme.
18th, 1998. But it came at a cost.
Done. That's the war. You
During
just
the war, the
covered
rebels
with
stationed
flags.
on the
That's
Kimona
the
Islands
using coup
were
d'etat.
preparing
Just
to
done.
load and launch the 5 laser weapons and install them in the satellite. They were going to point the lasers towards the Earth and fire on the
I have another
advancing
picture of
Usean
this
Allied
somewhere.
forces. However, all
From
5 lasers
6
were
months ago.
destroyed
I'm
by
gonna
Scarface
go back to.
1 before they could be launched into space.
Oops.
Also, on the final day of the war, Scarface 1 successfully flew in and destroyed the missiles within Fortress Intolerance in order to prevent the rebels from launching a missile against Yuktobania and then blaming it on Osea and Usea.
Gleipnir was a massive seaplane. It's more like a massive flying sea boat.
Both the satellite and Fortress Intolerance were rendered toothless.
It's just a big
However,
boat with
the
wings.
Stonehenge complex was finished in June 1998.
What about the
All
Ark
that
Bird?
was left was to finish constructing the rest of the railgun system before July
I'm gonna
3rd,
assume it was built
1999.
in space.
Stonehenge's range of fire,
But I can
would
be wrong. I
sufficient
haven't
enough to take
researched
care
that
of
into
almost
two.
all
Well, no,
of
I
the
did
asteroid
research it. I didn't make a
fragments.
video, but I
Until
don't know if
that
I
very
said where it
same
was
month,
Bill.
probe from the International Astronomical Union landed on Ulysses' surface and discovered that it had a hollow interior.
Discovered
The
it was made
researchers
of hollow
performed
marshmallows.
recalculations. They learned that the fragments would impact a much larger area of the planet's surface than had been originally predicted. Stonehenge's range is not large enough, and Usia is running out of time.
Running out of time. And I'm using Assault Horizon music. The one that
And so,
everybody said
with
was
news going from
bad.
bad to worse, it is ultimately decided that.
Here is the current SITREP and your orders for deployment, effective immediately.
Oh, looks like it's time to deploy. Oh well. Don't worry, we'll continue this some other time.
So that.
Hey pilots.
Oh
I hope
hey.
I was able to help players
Hey, little
like
me.
you to understand the timeline
Without a
of the
neck.
Ace Combat series. Before I take off, I just wanted to give a quick thank you to the guys at Acepedia.
God,
They do
I
an
sound so
excellent job
different.
at gathering all the lore and knowledge about the Ace Combat series. Anyways, I gotta head out. My name is Salutis Eversol.
There was a
and I'll see you
time
in the
where
next
I was
video.
kind of self-aware on
Thank
how
you
I
for
was
watching.
narrating too. Like the last two videos, the Fenrir and the World of Stranger one, I consider to be my best narrated ones, and they're not that bad. The reason why is I'm starting to like sit up better. I'm more comfortable when I'm presenting and talking. Like right now too, I'm just talking and I'm not doing like the however and so these old videos, which I'm gonna call season 0, is a lot of me when I'm thinking, I'm going or taking a breath. It feels like that's what I'm doing when I'm going and or this kind of making like hey I've been working very hard to kind of get away from that and just kind of talk, because the way I hear like ACF present info, a Sly Cooper fan, Active Ace, everybody else, they just talk. That's it. It's not overly fast. It's not super slow. Like, hey kids, that if I kept on doing that, I felt like that would have made it feel like I was treating you guys like you were dumb, and that's not what I want to do. Plus, having a mic is so much better than using these. This is what I also used. I had a audio recorder downloaded onto my iPhone. Every time I got the script up, I would lean forward in my chair and I would try to kind of like dangle this in front of my mouth to speak into it so it was clear. That was the hardest part, was making this thing clear. Sometimes I would have to hold it up like this, but that was so hard because it kind of go back and forth with my arm, and I'm a pacer. When I think, I like to walk around and think. That it helps me out because of my ADHD, but I couldn't. I had to sit down, and that was hard, and I'm just leaned forward in my chair so I could dangle in front. Here. This is what it looked like. Okay, I'm gonna reenact the olden days of how I read a script. I had a laptop, old laptop. Let's see. Jack, can you see me? On the floor. My phone as a recorder. God, how did I do this? Okay. All right. It would be plugged into the phone. I don't have the freaking headphone jack. Thanks, Apple, for getting rid of that. And then I would just have my phone pressed on play. Yeah, pressed on play. Get this thing close to my mouth as possible. And then just have the laptop on the ground. And then I would read a line. Hello, friends and fans. Today we're going to be talking about an extra awesome pilot. His name is Scarface One. He's so excited, very exciting today. And then I'm just like, I'm trying to talk to you guys, but my chest cavity is all scrunched up. But here we go. Scarface was a bird on fire. I couldn't do that anymore. What was the last video? I think it was the Azure Fleet. Yeah, that was a year later until I finally decided to get a Blue Yeti. I liked it when did those videos. Jeffrey, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm kind of missing a couple of words there. It was built piece by piece, space never lands, let the Arkbird launch. Wow, a lot of Arkbird talk. Do you guys want to, you know what? I know we want to go in order, but let's go talk about the Arkbird. Do I have it? Here we go, playlist.
Warning.
You guys want me to do less commentary or more commentary? Can't imagine how uncomfortable that must be doing that for an extended period of time. Yeah, I feel like when you're doing it daily, it is uncomfortable, but I kind of just was doing it like once every like few weeks. Wasn't too bad, but it wasn't ideal. Arkbird time.
We're both working from home. The high-speed internet is
No,
absolutely...
get out of here, Verizon. You are
Fios,
not
the
a
100%
cool...
fiber optic network
No.
of Apple.
Oh yeah, this one was created by NetZone. NetZone created this little intro thing for me, which was very cool, very awesome. I was very happy. I also kind of want to. That's the thing. I kind of want to ask him if he could do something like that for the end. But you know what? I kind of like where that is. It's just a blue circle, and it kind of also helped with the current logo too.
Strange Real History, helping
that's in
fans old
Japanese.
and new understand the in-game lore.
How many Japanese viewers are in chat right now? I don't even know if that's I don't even know if that's all Japanese captions. We'll leave it off
From the Ace Combat
because I'm going to be
series.
talking more over it. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's another logo. So you can start to see where I veered away from real life aircraft and kind of went into more Ace Combat aircraft to kind of seal the deal and more like, hey, this is a different world. Speaking of the Alicorn, when do you think that you might be able to create an Alicorn video? That, Jeffrey, that's going to be quite a while. As soon as I want to get that, because, you know, I would say a year. Because that's like a medium project that I want to tackle. I have an idea for that one, and I feel like it's going to lead into like these other bigger projects on these bigger lores that I want to do, but those are going to be like years to come. But I am honing my craft as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So, Nagase loves watching this video, so she needs the subtitles. She's OC and she could speak OC in English. I'm sure it's fine. Jeez, you guys. Everyone speaks English in Strange Real.
SSTO status report.
Oh, this is where it went more cinematic.
From all team leaders. Continue SSTO launch.
Look how I was doing shading.
Sequence. 5,
That's some terrible shading, but it's better than nothing.
2, 1, 0. SSTO increasing speed. SSTO passing checkpoint 1. Passing checkpoint 2. Passing checkpoint 3. Liftoff. Have a safe trip.
Oh god, that looks so good. Back then, buy some pants? Sure, later. Oh, this one's cool. That's not bad.
I think this calls for a little history lesson.
The Arkbird was a maneuverable, low-orbiting spacecraft that was conceived during the Cold War. The Arkbird became a symbol of peace and cooperation
As you can see,
3 years after the Balkan War.
I started going more Ace Combat briefing,
Now, before
and
we
I'm starting to
begin
go
discussing
more
the
like a
Arkbird's
briefing
weaponry
serious
and
tone.
design features, I believe it is important for us to understand why plans were established to construct a maneuverable, low-orbiting spacecraft.
But I also sound
in
like
the
I'm
first place.
too serious, you know?
At a
Oh,
glance,
hi.
It might appear as if the
Look!
Arkbird's original purpose.
Hey, how long did it take? Hang on. What's in the playlist? Was Excalibur? I'm pretty sure Excalibur. And I think Gleipnir. So I think this might be the very first video where my avatar has a neck. I started drawing necks, everybody. And necks are like the easiest thing for me to draw. It's just 2 lines and I know where the trapezoids are and the clavicle. It's easy. And this was also the stage 2 where I had no idea how to draw eyes, and that was still the hardest one for me to do. And it's still, I'm not gonna lie, it's still pretty hard for me to do. But I think I've had a couple of times where I got an anime eye down pretty good. Now look at the hair. Hair looks like grass. You can see I'm trying to go spiky, but it just looks like hedgehog grass.
Purpose was to serve as a test bed for further developments in aeronautical technologies
But
and
not
space
too
exploration.
bad. That's looking
However,
like forms
this was
coming
never
in.
the case. During the Cold War, the Arkbird was initially going to
this
be designed as an anti-ICBM
Was getting close to the time
defense
where I had to
weapon.
decide if I wanted to
For those of
get
you who
better
may be
or not.
unaware, the Cold War
Oh,
was a period of rising
jeez. Oh, what did I do here? What the heck did I do here? Those lines are bulky and bad. Like it's more like a glow effect. You know what I must have done? I must have like did the reverse fill bucket and just removed it. Removed the inside. Try to manually erase it. I think that's when I looked at this and I'm like, I don't want to draw every single line on there. Now I do. Now I do, and it's so much better than what it is with this. Whew. That is
geopolitical
bad.
tension between the Osean Federation and the Union of
Do you think the
Yuktobania
cargo
Republics.
module on the top could be removed for other mission
Vying
types?
to
Maybe.
become the dominant nation,
I think so.
both superpowers began an arms race where both sides focused on developing and expanding their arsenal of ICBM missiles. Understanding
This one might have taken me a day. So you can tell it's just quick sketch, go over something and try to break it down. This is the thing too. This is all of this was before I started breaking things down. I started learning how to do like breakdowns of things and perspective and the fundamentals and the foundations of art. This is also well before I started watching tutorial videos on YouTube. That's all I've been doing for the past 2 years too, is a lot of art tutorial videos. And there's still a lot more that I have to learn, but there's things that I'm starting to, just understand now, and I'm kind of coming up with little catchphrases in my head.
that they had entered a state of mutually ensured destruction, OSIA implemented
Marco,
a
hello.
program named the Strategic Defense Initiative. This program would focus on creating anti-missile technology in order to protect the nation from possible threats. One project that was already underway was the Strategic Orbital Linear Gun, or SOLG, an orbiting weapons platform that would prevent the launch of ICBMs by destroying the missile silos.
That's not a
Unfortunately
bad
for OSIA,
representation. I do like that.
Yuktobania soon unveiled their newest state-of-the-art submarine, the
Synfaxi! Oh,
It was a
fun little fact. I was trying to make the Synfaxi class video. Script is almost done, and then I was working on it, and then working on line art, and then guess what happened? A little fun invasion party happened in Europe, and I thought talking about something related to something in real life, it's a little too soon. Might be in bad taste, so I'm gonna put that to the side. So that's to the side. I still got some more drawings to do. I'll probably change up some of the script a little bit, but it's all set. I just gotta come up with like the battle stuff. But other than that, yeah, that Synfaxi pick is not it's not a retrace over the image itself. I did trace over the image itself. So what you do is you trace over the image, and then what you're doing is you're trying to get the shapes. Once you get the shapes, get rid of that image, put it as a reference on the side, and then look at how the shapes were, and then kind of redo it again, but on the side. And to kind of simplify it a little bit more, that's what you do. That's how everybody does it in the art industry. They will take like video reference, screenshot on a person. Like even right now, you could literally screenshot me right now as I'm moving. Take like a screenshot of me at a moment where I'm like giving a goofy face, like, ugh, and then take it. And then what you can do is you draw over my face, but you pay attention to like, okay, this line will represent this part of the jaw. This one will represent the temple, and then you kind of give it that depth. that's what a breakdown is. You're breaking it down so you can see what the shape could look like. So then when you go over it again, you keep those in mind, and then you can start adding in the details as per your style, not copying like a detail like my spiky hair goes this way. Well, you could do it the other way, and that's fine. Or you can make a completely different person. You can make like a fat Chungus man. You can make me as Orson Peralt, like just trace over my body as like a template, get that breakdown, and then take the reference to the side, and then just use my frame as the foundation, then just add fat around it, and then Orson Peralt. There you go. That's how you can do it. Or you can even turn me into a woman if you wanted to in a drawing form. It's really easy as long as you understand like how you gotta make it look like the person, you know, anatomically. You should be covered, and then other than that, you should get it in your style. You got to be comfortable with it, and then you're good to go.
Stealth submarine that was capable of firing hundreds of missiles while submerged underwater. Osea knew that the Solg was useless against the Synfaxi since 1. It cannot locate the Synfaxi's position when it is submerged.
Oh, look, it's gone.
2. It cannot intercept missiles that are already launched. And 3. It cannot travel freely to the sub's location since it is locked in Earth's orbit. In order to remediate
like
the Solg's
that was pretty good.
disadvantages, Osea's Department of Defense submitted a plan to create a maneuverable orbiting spacecraft, aka Arkbird, that could counter the Synfaxi. Before this concept could be made into reality, the Cold War abruptly ended on March 25th, 1995, the beginning of the Balkan War. In order to win a war against a common foe, Osea and Yukdobania resolved their differences and focused their efforts towards fighting the Balkan Federation.
I like those sound
By the end of
effects.
the Balkan War, both nations would begin a road to peace and began promoting global arms reduction policies.
Don't
after
give anyone
witnessing Belka
ideas.
detonate
Too
7
late
nuclear
there.
warheads.
Move it.
The Arkbird concept
You can
would
take
remain
anything as an
unrealized
idea or out of
until the world was
context
confronted
these
with the
days.
impact of the Ulysses asteroid in 1999. Although the nations of Usea was able to survive
Oh,
the
this one I
planetfall
like.
thanks to their efforts constructing the anti-air railgun network Stonehenge, many of the Ulysses fragments remained in Earth's orbit.
We're gonna look at that again. So yes, that's from AC7,
Nations of Usea was able to survive the planet.
but I also drew them when they're not destroyed. Nice and clean, as best I could, clouds, and I did it when it's during the asteroid. I just like that scene on how it played in the game.
Fall thanks to the
And then the sound effects, I just kind of mixed it up a bit. I used like a sound effect from Battlefield 4's DLC Final Stand with the Gauss sniper rifle. Just use like its sound effect when it fires the gun because it is a railgun. And then I kind of mixed up like a cannon and something else, but I kind of just mixed it together to kind of give it a bit more of a thud for like a railgun, like a big, huge railgun.
their efforts constructing the anti-air rail.
And then just right here, I did a sound effect where the shell flies by, or just a right. I literally took sound effect for like a bullet whizzing by.
Gun network Stonehenge. Many of the Ulysses fragments remained in Earth's orbit.
Oh, that's pretty
Understanding
good.
the threat that the asteroid fragments posed, Osea and Yukdobania decided to partner together.
That's
to
not
come up with
bad.
a solution on how to
It's
clean
not a
up the
bad
atmosphere.
Earth.
They both determined that Osea's maneuverable orbiting spacecraft concept from the Cold War was
And I
the
put a little
ideal
post-it note for
solution.
Yukdobania
So,
like that.
both nations began constructing the Arkbird.
Whoa. Okay, that is we're gonna go to Net Zone. Jeez, what the hell? What the hell are these games? Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Jeez, I'm watching the replay again. Wow. Okay, back to the Arkbird.
Using Osea's design as a basis, the Arkbird featured a sweeping aerodynamic design.
I swear I've never seen that game
Its
before.
white-plated fuselage
I'm not
was
lying.
vaguely triangular in shape, gradually widening and flattening towards the stern. Upward swept wings complemented the design and provided most of the Arkbird's atmospheric maneuvering capability.
So, what I was going to say before I got rudely interrupted by some stupid free-to-play game about giant women kissing tiny dudes. Why is that a thing? I can't say it anymore. That's all I can think of. It's just level 999. Giant woman. Anyways, the song played in the background is from NetZone. He gave me like an unreleased sample, so I can put that on later on as we're playing. It's a really good sample. Apparently he has a... Here, keep watching. I'm gonna go check what's up with the dogs.
Abilities. The Arkbird was supported by 5 main engines. 2 dual nozzle rocket boosters on the stern's ventral port and starboard sides. 2 large combined cycle engines on the stern's dorsal port and starboard sides. And 1 large auxiliary booster engine at the center of the dorsal fuselage. The ship's bridge and navigational systems were located at the bow of the fuselage. Yuktobania provided modifications and a rapid-firing laser unit that was installed atop of the Arkbird's dorsal section, flanked by anti-air missile launchers on the port and starboard sides. In case anything went wrong, emergency escape pods were fitted to the Arkbird's ventral hull, allowing the astronauts operating the Arkbird to escape. Within a few years, the Arkbird was complete. Once the Arkbird was deployed, it began to clear the atmosphere of the Ulysses fragments. The Arkbird was successful in clearing 80% of the orbital debris. During the early 21st century, the Arkbird would continue to serve as a testbed for further developments in aeronautical technologies and space exploration, with the ultimate goal of constructing an international space station. The Arkbird would also serve as the site of the G7 summit in 2008. Originally, the G7 summit was supposed to be held in Wellow back in 2007, but it was cancelled after a terrorist attack that occurred within the nation.
How are we doing, chat?
1 year later, the 48th president of the Ocean Federation...
We got my kids with it.
Vincent
Whoa!
Harling,
Hi, Vincent Harling. How are you today? It's got your jowls going on to the sides. My goodness, sir. It's not bad, though. It's Bright Hill. To get the doggos. What is the dog doing? He's kissing his sister's foot. I don't know why. He always kisses his sister.
Host the 2008 conference aboard the Arkbird.
No bombshell.
It
Nobody
was a
swatted
place
me.
Beyond boundaries. Several heads of state from the Ocean, Verusian, and Usean continents gathered at the Bassett Space Center. It was the first facility jointly constructed by the Ocean Aerospace Bureau and the Yuktobanian National Space Agency. The heads of state were launched from the mass
Heads are
driver
cringe.
and were transported into space. Where
That
the
bird is a
Arkbird
symbol of
waited.
hope for Captain
In
Nagase.
what
Well, I'll
came
show
to
you
be
my
known
symbol of
as
hope.
the Arkbird Declaration.
Come here.
President Harlan
Symbols
called
of
for
hope.
the
Come here.
ratification of the Comprehensive Nuclear
where you
Test
going?
Ban Treaty
Come here.
and the renewal of the Strategic
say hi to
Arms
chat?
Reduction Treaty.
Symbol
After
of
the
hope
G7
number
summit,
2.
The Arkbird would continue to clear
Lucilla,
Earth's orbit
or
of any
Lucy for
lingering
short.
Ulysses fragments
Yes,
until the
love
year
you. I
2010,
love you.
when the unthinkable happened.
And symbol of hope number 1. Come here, bud.
On September 27,
here.
2010,
Don't play dead.
Yuktobania declared war on the Ocean
Symbol of hope number
Federation
1.
and launched a simultaneous
Maximus
air
or
raid
Max.
on St. Hewlett
Big boy
Harbor.
Max. Oh,
Later,
yeah.
on
Thank you,
September
bud.
30th, 2010,
Oh, thank you. You're a
Ocean
good boy.
military authorized the
Mm.
deployment of the
Have a
Arkbird
kiss?
in response to the
Thank you.
Synfaxis burst missile attack, which sank 2 of the
You're a
3
good girl.
Ocean
Can I have a
aircraft carriers, the Buzzard and the Vulture, crossing the Eglin Straits.
Alright, you can
On
relax
October
right there.
3rd, the Bassett Space Center used its mass driver to send an SST
Those are my
craft
symbols of
to
hope.
equip the Arkbird with a laser module, which was
Fuzzy.
removed as part of the disarmament process
Really good,
following the Arkbird
really good guard
declaration.
dogs.
The following day, the Arkbird played an enormous role during the Yuktobanian amphibious assault on the airbase Sand Island. While War Dog Squadron was focused on destroying enemy landing vessels,
Okay, that is a cool angle that I did. So this is the part where once I had a formula going. I introduced the thing, introduced the topic, and then talk about, you know, how it's made, what was built, why it was built, and then I go into like basically part 2 of the video. What is the what's the war like? And that's kind of more cinematic in a way, kind of like comic book cinematic. I still gotta practice how to do that.
and warships, the Arkbird utilized its laser module to vaporize burst missiles launched from the Synfaxi. The crew aboard the Arkbird requested the anti-submarine patrol plane, Blue Hound, to launch a sonobuoy in order to pinpoint the Synfaxi's location. With additional data from the sonobuoy, the crew was able to isolate the Synfaxi's position underwater. The Arkbird then proceeded to pierce the Synfaxi's hull with its laser, forcing the submarine to resurface. The Arkbird subsequently delivered one more devastating blow to the Synfaxi, leading to its
Oh, I also
destruction
noticed my
at the hands of
shading
War
is
Dog
not a
Squadron.
good color.
Thanks
But I
to
didn't
the
know that.
Arkbird, Sand Island was spared from the invasion, and Yukdobania was forced to fight the war
That's
defensively.
so bad too. My line
But 3
confidence is
weeks
terrible.
later, the Arkbird was sabotaged by an SSTO supply shipment loaded with explosives. It is assumed that Yukdobania was responsible for sabotaging the Arkbird, but in truth, the explosives were planted by a secretive Belkan nationalistic group known as the Grey Men. Formed after the Balkan War, the Grey Men wanted to exact revenge against Osea and Yukdobania by inciting a war between the two superpowers. They were responsible for orchestrating the Circum-Pacific War. Now seeing that Osea was gaining the upper hand, the Grey Men planted explosives onto the supply shipment in order to prolong the war. With the Arkbird rendered inoperable, the Grey Men sent
comfortable?
operatives. One of the men we know went under the call sign Adler to
Alrighty.
infiltrate and quietly hijack the spacecraft. The Osean astronaut stationed on the Arkbird, John Harvard, was unaware that Adler and the other operatives were retrofitting combat drone launch ports into the
Oh,
hull
another
while
ad.
repairing the damaged spacecraft.
Get ready for weirdness. Oh, it's Dove. It's Sir. We invited parents and their girls. Well, what about boys? What? Why can't I have Dove? Toxic beauty? What? I want to be beautiful. Whoa. What are you doing? It's not beautiful. But we got to make sure water's beautiful.
Sometime between December 10th
There's our
and
ads.
December 19th, a V-1 nuclear warhead from Mount Sherm was smuggled onto the Arkbird via SSTO launch. Adler and the rest of the operatives were going to drop the V-1 warhead on a
In a Star
populated
Trek-looking fuzzy
Yukdobanian city.
monster
All they
hair.
had to do was wait
Wow.
to receive the order from Shenzei, a fellow Greyman operative stationed in Sudentor, North Osea. On December 19th, 2010, Adler received a coded transmission from Shenzei. An attack by ASAT on Oktyabrsk to commence at 1400
To commence at
hours.
1400
The
hours.
V-1 warhead was going to be dropped on Oktyabrsk. In order for the Arkbird to attack the city, Adler needed to make one major correction in its orbital trajectory by dropping the spacecraft into the upper atmosphere over the Ceres Ocean at 1300 hours and use air friction to lower its speed.
Did the
Unfortunately for the Grey Men,
Grabark
they
or
weren't the
Ovnir
only
pretend
ones who
to
received the
be
coded
an
transmission.
astronaut of the
OFS
SSTO to take over the
Andromeda
Arkbird and
intercepted
use to
the
destroy the
message.
city?
In
None
response,
of
President
those.
Harling ordered the former War Dog
It's
pilots,
it's
now
literally
acting
other
as
gray
the
men, so it's
Rosgri
gray
Squadron,
men, but it's
to
not them.
intercept and destroy the Arkbird.
Rosgrees, launch!
Time was of the essence, and Rosgri Squadron needed to stop the hijacked Arkbird now. At 1309 hours,
Refresh on second ad
Rosgri
to not watch
Squadron
full
arrived at
second
the
ad?
approximate location where the
That's
Arkbird
what I
was
was gonna
sighted.
do, but I got caught up on the
It took them
whole.
to reach the
How come
Arkbird's
Dove is
current
for
altitude.
parents and
They
girls?
only
Why
had
can't
one
I have
chance
some
to
Dove
bring down
soap?
The White Bird before it reascends at 1324 hours.
You know, I like
But
smooth
by a
skin.
stroke of luck,
Some
the
nice soap,
Osean
please.
astronaut John Harvard
Made from a
realized
dirt-
what was happening
derv.
and decided
Made from
to
a
take
dove.
action. He tampered with the
You know,
Arkbird's
white
control
bird
system
soap.
and fled the hijacked spacecraft in one of its escape capsules.
Makes you
Due
feel
to his
good.
efforts, the Arkbird plunged deeper into the atmosphere than necessary. Rosgri Squadron seized this opportunity and began to attack the Arkbird.
That's some muddy
Adler
shading.
relayed the
Oh, look at him.
situation to
Arrgh!
Shenzei ordered Adler to
I
use
just
the
got my
UAV
joystick.
launchers mounted on the Arkbird. After launching a swarm
Here's
of
my
orbital
Dorito
attack
chips.
drones
Take it.
and activating the laser module used on the Synfaxi, Adler ignited the Arkbird's first set of propulsion engines in order to regain altitude, but Rosgri Squadron was able to destroy the propulsion engines. Realizing that flying to Yukdobania was now impossible, Adler initiated the backup plan. He turned
Push
the
all the
Arkbird towards
buttons.
Osean territory.
Oh
He was
no.
going to crash the Arkbird into the ground and detonate the nuke there. However, Ra's Gree Squadron destroyed the next set of engines, which caused the Arkbird to rapidly descend. In a desperate attempt to carry out their plan,
And that's when Adler knew.
Adler switched to the auxiliary engine,
He fucked up.
but it too was destroyed. With all of its engines destroyed, the Arkbird crashed.
Oh,
into
here's
the
my
Ceres
attempt.
Ocean and exploded
Got some
underwater.
animation. It's not bad. Look at you looking crap plane.
Were it not for Harvard's
Yeah.
actions aboard the Arkbird, the Rosgrees may not have been able to destroy
Oh,
it
damn.
and prevent the
Is he wearing those like 60s dance pants? It's like with the bell bottoms. What are they called? I did not drop pants. Look at that. There's a cut right there. It's like he's got no butt. That is some anatomical inaccuracy. But look how I did that. That's pretty good. I like the shading on that. But I didn't do shading on that and that. So I can see where I've been getting some shading in. Just to get a feel for it. But not the entire thing. But now I can just get the entire thing. Like, here. We'll compare.
the nuclear attack.
compare that
on
later.
Oktyabrsky. The crash site was later investigated by crews of the Kestrel fleet. They confirmed that the V-1 warhead inside the Arkbird had not detonated due to the lack of radiation fallout in the area.
Those boats look like they're floating. I'm sorry. There is no perspective here whatsoever. It's just against blue, ships floating. There's no like wake in the back or like resting wakes. It's just
However,
they look like they're in space.
the Grey Men still had one more trick up their sleeve. Despite the destruction of the Arkbird, the Space Center continued to launch supplies into orbit. It would later be confirmed that the Grey Men were going to use the incomplete Solg.
Hey, look at that.
If you like this video of strange real history,
Not really. I don't like it. I'm not subscribing. Don't subscribe to this, guys. Everybody, just don't. Maximilian the Great, congrats on 10K. Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard. Gonna agree with the King Assault on the Adler plane. King Assault games feel the flip book. You can feel or flip. What is he done? Like you don't like the Adler? It's a big ass plane with huge wings. What's wrong with it? You don't like that? It looks like a pelican. What would you fellas and the ladies like to watch? Are you sure I didn't steal the nuke? Pretty sure. Oh, my bottle cap. Soul, you should sub to that guy. No, I'm not gonna sub to that guy. Look at him. He's trying to copy me. But he's doing it in a poor way. Look at this. He's just. Look at his smug face. I mean, come on, look at him. He thinks he's better than everybody. He's like, look at me. I got a YouTube channel. This is what my eyeballs look like. Just some ovals. My nose is to the side. Don't know what that looks like. Look at him having his logo right on his right chest. What a narcissist. This guy thinks highly of himself. I wouldn't recommend subscribing to this guy. He's terrible. He's trash. Look, his art is trash. Everything's trash about him. His jokes are bad. He thinks he's he's taking himself too seriously, therefore it makes him edgy. So there we go. I mean, just look at him. No. Where's the unsubscribe button? It's gotta. How does Ace Combat Assault Rising get on here? Oh, never mind. It's the first song. Right here. Paint. That is a really good track, and I do miss the Paint edition on there. In the old Assault Horizon. Dude looks like he's from Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advanced. Oh. Jeez. I've never played Fire Emblem. He looks like a nice guy, though. Why shouldn't you subscribe to him? Well, that's the thing. He's a nice guy. He's not a good guy, okay? Good guys are just good from the heart. They don't always do the right thing, but they're good and they have good intentions. Nice guys just are playing nice because they want to, they want something out of it. And this guy, he probably wants something out of you. So I wouldn't subscribe to him. Like I said, where's the unsubscribe button? Is that even a thing that I can do to myself? Can I unsubscribe to myself? I'm not gonna check analytics. Let's see. Let's see what he wrote. Hey, hello pilots. If you really like this lore video of the Arkbird, please share the video with the Ace Combat community. Psh, no, don't share it with the Ace Combat community. Don't share it at all. Whatever you do, I know you guys will listen to me. Listen to the man of reason. Ooh, Elden Ring lore. Should probably get into that. Hey, Ace Combat fan. 5 years ago. 5 years ago. History of Erusia, and his thumbnail's got a... Yeah. Big booba waifu. You know what? Should probably reconsider my subscription for that one. Probably should unsubscribe to him too. Because, he's into that anime stuff, and I'm not a weeb. Don't want that. Oh, but Nagase, though. Nagase. I like that. That's class right there. Okay, so what do you guys want to watch another one of my video right now? Oh, hey. Also, VT Tommy. If you haven't seen him, he's a VTuber too. A small-time VTuber. I would highly recommend go watching him. I've talked to him on Discord too. He's a pretty cool guy. I will say pretty chill. I like him. He's a lot more chill than this schmuck right here. Look at him. He's even digging my tan. Look at that. It's like poser. So what did we do? We did Preparing for Ulysses, Planetfall and Aftermath, if you guys don't want that one. I did see Birth of Aerial Warfare. Would you guys like to see that one? Maximilian, why did you say Belka did nothing wrong? How dare you? How dare you say that? How dare you? NetZone top tier? Yes, he is. Caught in 1080p. He likes Nagase. Yeah, and I ain't ashamed. I ain't hiding it. Take it to court. It's like, sir, jury, this is what he said. Here's the evidence. And I'd be like, yes, and? Problem? Only thing wrong was their poor spending choices. Oh yeah, economic crisis. Yep. So you guys got a choice. Birth of Aerial Warfare, or we do the Recting Conflict. Both of these I am highly proud of myself for doing because there's so very little lore. I think the ones that have the least amount of lore, that don't have like oodles and oodles and oodles of lore, I am proud of for making, because it's like take what you got and then kind of think about what could have happened that makes sense, that doesn't break the storyline. Bet you like Rosa too? Nah, dude. I'm gonna rewind it back before I saw the picture. Now you say I was gonna unsubscribe because of that. There you go. That it's just too much anime right there. Way too much anime. This nice. That one right there, nice. If you saw my mouse, but I am kind of spurging out a little bit. Boy, imagine if Project Aces is watching this right now. It's like, he likes that character. Very interesting. Puts me on like a blacklist. Alright, so we want to do Birth of Warfare, Birth of Aerial Warfare, okay. Top tier gaming is kind of calling the shots here, fellas. I don't know why, but I put it. I don't know why, but because I think there's a letter I or not. A little confused. Alright, let's do Birth of Aerial Warfare.
With Amazon ads, your brand can seamlessly be in on the action while streamers binge watch their favorites.
Hang on 1 second. Oh yeah, my face reveal.
You know what's pretty cool in all of the Ace Combat
Back
games?
to Nonek.
Fighter jets. They are loud, fast, and can help you achieve your highest score on Siren's Song. But how did the concept of aerial warfare begin within Ace Combat Strange Real universe? Who was the one responsible for this idea, and why?
I think this calls for a little history lesson.
The first time the world of Strange Real witnessed planes being used in a combat role was during a conflict between the Belkans and
Hang on, let's scroll back a tiny bit. So this is what I mean. you take the info that you got already from Ace Combat Zero, because a lot of the info for this war is from Ace Combat Zero from the assault records. And then I thought, what would an old 1900s map of Osea and Belka look like? And this is what I got. So this is, again, this part right here, like I said in the upper left-hand corner, it is not official, but I'm using it to kind of present and paint the picture for you. Also, I also like the idea, kind of like Fallout lore. If you guys know about like Fallout lore, the United States annexed Canada to make it bigger before the bombs fell in the game. And I thought, ooh, it would be interesting if like there was a nation or two up here that Osea later annexed. And I thought, let's do that. Kind of a little homage and tribute. And this is the map, like I said, that I came up with. So let's continue on.
Belkans and Oseans, the Osean War. At the start of the war in 1905, the recently invented biplane was nothing more than a glorified wood and canvas kite powered by a prop engine. No weapons were ever installed into its frame. Instead, both sides utilized the
Good for
plane
spying, not for
reconnaissance
fighting.
missions. Pilots would have the capability to fly and maintain a high
Put that
altitude
on a shirt.
in order to avoid getting shot down by instead.
Hey,
both
Project
sides-
Aces, planes. Your next plane game, got it for you. Good for spying, not for fighting. All right, we want more. We want spy planes. We want a whole spy plane game. Can you make that? Make a spy plane game? Just a bunch of spying. That's all we're doing. Just no fighting, no bullets, no missiles. Just spying. We just spying. Just give us that mission from Ace Combat 5 and copy paste that thing for like 30. Make it 30 missions. Let's do 30 missions, just like Ace Combat 5.
Sides utilized the plane for reconnaissance missions. Pilots would have the capability to fly and maintain a high altitude in order to avoid getting shot down
Imagine
by
if they,
infantrymen's rifles.
on a serious note, imagine if
While in
they
the air,
made
the
a
pilots
World War
would
I
observe
style
and
game.
pinpoint the enemy's artillery positions or troop movements. But as the war raged on, one
I like
man
that
from
one
the
too.
Belkan
That's good.
military named Franklin Golnitz would come up with an interesting idea to fight the Oseans. What if their planes
What
had the
if I
capability
put
to
the
destroy
bombs
high
on the
altitude
planes
targets?
and they drop the
reconnaissance
bombs?
Planes can already fly over enemy
That was more
airspace without
French.
getting
Oui,
shot
oui.
down.
I don't know why.
Also, using the planes would allow Belka to minimize troop casualties when advancing their army across the battlefield. Franklin's idea was greenlit, and Belkan reconnaissance planes were loaded with bombs.
If you want to spy
Just
plane
imagine
video
being
game,
one
just
of
buy a
the
drone
Osean
and spy on your
infantrymen
neighbors.
during the first
Spy on
bombing
your
run.
dog. Ace Combat.
The
Spy
Oseans
on your
are
dog.
going about their
Spy
day
on your
carrying
cat.
out their
Spy on the
routine
Oseans.
duties. The troops
Spy on
then
the
hear the
Belkans.
humming of biplanes
Spy on
overhead,
yourself.
but they assume they are the same recon planes.
Spy on
They
your
don't do
waifu.
any harm.
Don't know why.
Then-
Just spy. Spy on these guys.
The position is being bombed. It's not from the enemy artillery. This is different. It's coming from the planes overhead. But there aren't any weapons they can use to take out the Belkan planes. The Osean troops can only try to seek shelter from the attack. The strategy was working. The bombing runs allowed the Belkan army to advance and occupy the weakened Osean positions. The bombing raids were devastating to the Oseans. They realized how aircraft could turn the tides of war,
yes.
and they began developing a plan to counter the Belkan bombers. Sometime later,
I'm Park
a
Ranger
formation
Joe
of Belkan
on
bombers
Team
is headed
Osea.
towards Osean airspace to release their payload over
Should have made him wear the
strategic
hat as he was
targets.
flying the plane.
It is another routine bombing run just like previous sorties. Fly at high altitude to avoid ground fire, release the bombs, and return to base. Simple. But while they are traveling closer to their destination, one of the pilots begins to hear a low humming. More planes?
Oh my
Is there another
god.
squadron?
This made me realize he looks like, I can't remember which character it was, from Beavis and Butthead. It kind of looks like that. It's like that's his hair. It's just terrible, like flat face. His eyes. Wow. Like I said, I wasn't that good. This is still on Microsoft Paint, as you can tell, as you can see right here with these lines. But
Of Belkan bombers
I need to
headed
redo
the
this
same
one too.
destination? Suddenly, the sounds of gunfire erupt in the sky. Bombers begin to nosedive
Oh
to the
no, there
ground,
they
breaking
go.
apart. The
They don't
Belkan
even,
pilot
like, move
quickly
forward.
identifies where the noise is coming from. It is a squadron of smaller Osean biplanes trailing their 6 o'clock. And they are outfitted with machine guns.
9!
Without any
Das
weapons
sind
to
blue
defend themselves
planes,
from the counterattack,
Hans!
the remaining bombers return to base.
Osea is able to stop the bombers from reaching their own ground troops. However, the news about the Oseans weaponizing their planes with machine
If I
guns
put a
did
third
not discourage
thing on
Belka
it,
from flying.
it might
They
do
quickly
better.
learned that they could build more
So we will
agile
do that.
aircraft designed
Third
to
wing.
control air
Do it.
superiority rather than bomb ground targets.
Oh, that smile.
Belka,
Hold on, I'm gonna
already
go
a
back.
major rather than bomb ground.
That smile though. That's a scheming Belkin right there. You guys see that? That's a scheming Belkin right there. Look at him. He's just like, yes, third thing makes everything better.
Ground targets. Belka, already a major industrialized nation, had the means to produce new aircraft at a rapid pace. They began building aircraft centered on extreme mobility, and soon dogfights
Oh,
would
that's
become
such a cool
fixture
shot.
in the events of the Osean War.
That okay, yes. I recall now. I'm gonna talk about it later, but this is gonna lead into one of the final scenes.
It is also during this time that the legendary Belkin Air Force was organized by Franklin. He is credited for its creation.
And I like the music choice that I
Throughout the
picked.
war,
That's
the
also a
Belkins
good one
became the
too.
Pioneers of aerial warfare. Their elite ace pilots were nicknamed the Knights of the Sky, a status comparable to the Belkin Knights and aristocrats of the medieval era. Despite the superior power of the new Belkin Air Force, the Osean War ended.
I'm sorry,
in
Top Tier
1910,
Gaming.
and it is unclear.
I didn't say I was good at
which
accents.
prevailed. However, the Belkin pilots had benefited tremendously from technological
this one,
improvements that had
but
taken
this was
place
also
during
cool
the
one.
Osean War. They would continue to focus on producing highly advanced
We started using
aircraft, as well
fades
as
as
forging
transitions
numerous
now.
elite pilots among its ranks in the Air Force. Impressed at how aircraft can be used for combat, many nations around the world created their own air forces to match Belka's. As a result, many decisive battles have taken place in the sky, with many ace pilots making their mark on history. As Franklin
This one.
would say, those who rule the sky will rule the ground.
Yeah, that's my favorite one right there. That transition, modern day, which I have to say, because you know that everyone we hear, that's the end of that one. I'm gonna play more NetZone's music for a bit. So we always hear people who, you know, they play Ace Combat, but then they go into DCS and there's like, oh, Ace Combat isn't a real life simulator because the planes can't do that. Well, yes, no duh. You don't think we don't know that? You don't think we know that? We are well aware that, yeah, this is made up. We're taking real life planes and we're making them do crazy things like in World War I and II. That's the point. And I think that's what the charm of Ace Combat is, because when we think of dogfights, you know, growing up, we imagine, you know, the dogfights from World War I and World War II, where everyone's doing crazy maneuvers, everyone's doing crazy fights, 1v4s, all that type of amazing things that you've heard in stories from fighter pilots back in World War I and World War II on what they did in those early days. And Ace Combat, what they did was they basically took the fights of World War I and World War II and they put it in current day with modern jets. Now, obviously today in real life, we have Beyond Horizon kills, which is a lot of times what you can do is you can just detect enemy without you being able to see it, but your radar can detect them so far away that your radar can, and you can fire a missile, and a missile can travel to that target without the enemy even knowing or picking you up on their radar. So we have a lot of fights like that now as it's going into the future. But we still like, you know, the old school dogfights, which is, it's very interesting. And obviously too, sometimes dogfights will sometimes move back into close quarters. Or maybe not. Maybe it's done forever. Who knows? But it's always good to kind of remember those things in the past. Don't forget that. And with Ace Combat, what's nice about it is, hey, we can still have fun with it. That's the whole point of it. It's an arcade flight game. It's not supposed to be a simulator. And that's what Tomcat 141 said in the Getting Started with Ace Combat series before Ace Combat 7 was released with Ace Combat Fan. Is Ace Combat a flight simulator? No, it never has, and it never will. And I agree with that statement. It should never be a flight sim. A flight sim is a simulation of what we do in real life. DCS. Okay, if you want a flight sim dogfighting game, play DCS. DCS is what you need to go to. If you just want to fly cool real life planes or made up planes and just have fun with it and see how big of a score you want to rack up, Ace Combat. If you want to do both, do both. That's perfectly fine. And I highly encourage that too. If you come across on anyone from any side who, you know, talks about like, oh, Ace Combat's better, or oh, DCS is better, you know, don't, not saying like don't always avoid them, but if you feel like you can have a civil conversation with them and just explain that part, without the focus of changing their mind, just explain it like that's the whole point of Ace Combat, that's the whole point of DCS, that's just it. That's all it is. And we understand that as fans because we want to have fun. It's an arcade game. That's what it should be. Arcade games are supposed to be fun. And some people find flight simulators fun. That's perfectly fine. I would find myself kind of being a little bit more probably not as bored, but I'd probably be very bored with a flight sim. But I understand it's a flight sim, so it's probably not for me. That's perfectly fine. And I'm not harping on people or players who play and enjoy DCS more than Ace Combat. Now, I do like watching the videos that they put together on how they fly, which is really awesome. I like those montages. Let's double check back with everybody as I get ready for, what is it? The Recting Conflict.
Grammarly helps you work more
Oh, I probably need
efficiently, which makes
Grammarly. Hi,
accomplishing
Susan.
your
I've
work
attached the
goal
quarterly marketing plan here. It's 7 nukes. Here we go.
so
Welcome,
easier.
nukes. Where am I at? Oh! Here's what I'll do. Do you want me to keep the music on? Same category as Ace Combat. Flight game. But then you gotta add on the other tags of action. It's an action arcade flight game. So, sure, it's a flight sim, but it's not really a flight sim. You know what I'm saying? If it was a flight sim, you'd have all the buttons at your disposal. Yeah, flight action. What the heck have I said? Hang on. It's in my thing. Ace Combat is a hybrid flight arcade action video game franchise created by the development team Project Aces and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. Please support the franchise. I always put that on there too. Arcade. Scrimp, hello! How you doing? Noranavik is better than anything else? Facts move it. Facts right there. That's why you're gonna be number 1 now in chat. You're gonna be the king of chat. For that, whoops. So, as you can see, I'm starting to add a screen on here. I'm starting to go into more of the briefing style now, instead of just the white background. Here's me, hello, no neck.
Recta, a country located in Eastern Oceania.
Hold on, that needs to be down a little bit more. And you need to go up.
The nation is currently bordered by 5 other nations. Belka to the
That's probably-
northwest,
I should have done that
Tibet to
before.
the north, Welvakia to the east, Ratio to the south, and Ustio to the west. Recta continues to thrive as a nation ever since it regained its independence in 1991. But if Recta reemerged as a nation, then that means it used to be an independent nation in the past. How did it lose its independence in the first place? It all happened when Rekta's next-door neighbor, Belka, invaded its territory and transformed the nation into a Belkan state. This was the Rekton Conflict.
I think this calls for a little history
I used a
lesson.
lot of Ace Combat Zero OSTs in this
The
one.
Rekton Conflict began in the early 1970s. Before the start of the war, Rekta was experiencing a number of pro-democratic riots.
Is it Dem is good, give me Dem or give me death? Dem now, pro Dem, we want Dem, Dem. Can't find keys, help.
While the
Poor
riots
man.
were happening, Belka was going through an expansionist period. They were focused on annexing territory from its eastern neighbors.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Noticing that Rekta was in a vulnerable state, Belka decided now was the best time to invade and sent its military forces across the border, thus starting the Rekton Conflict. Luckily, the Rekton Liberation Front,
Assemble
which
Rekton
acted
Liberation
as Rekta's
Front.
armed forces during
Hello,
the conflict,
boys.
were able to react in time before the Belkans could completely overtake them. It was assumed that Belka, the inventors of aerial warfare, would have an easy time fighting against Rekta's smaller military. Although Rekta had fewer pilots compared to Belka's air force, the pilots of the Rekton Air Force were more skilled
Those
in
are
aerial
bad angles,
combat
too.
thanks to their training.
It's not hard to
The Belkan Air Force
Use the
suffered
plane's,
heavy losses early in the war because they
angle
were
in a picture and
unfamiliar
kind of
to
use it
such
in
resistance.
different ways.
However, Belka and Rekta's forces were equally matched, resulting in a stalemate during the first years of the war. No one was able to gain the upper hand for a while. Sometime
Fox,
in the
take
year
care, buddy.
1973, the newly recruited Belkan pilot of Silber Team, Diedrich Killerman, was tasked to fight off the Rekton pilots located near the Mainz Mountains. Rekta had started to gain the upper hand in Mainz. In order to prevent Rekta from breaking the Belkan line, Kellerman knew that obtaining air superiority over the mountain
the
range
Chad
was
Kellerman.
top priority. If Silber Team controlled the skies
Get
over
those
Mainz,
mountains.
a path would be open through the mountain range, allowing
My
Belka's
zebra
ground troops
boys.
to further invade
Let's
Rekton
go.
territory.
That's not a bad
Silber
word, is it?
Team, led by Kellerman,
Can I say zebra
carried out
boys?
the plan and engaged the Rekton pilots over the mountain range.
Should probably look that up.
Since Kellerman was
You know,
a new
we'll call them
recruit, you
zebra
would think
men.
that he wouldn't stand a chance against skilled
We'll
pilots.
do that.
But to everyone's surprise, Kellerman achieved what seemed to be the impossible. He successfully led his squadron, fought the enemy, and gained air superiority.
How'd they get Rekta get Draxon?
Belka pushed deep
Drakens?
into Rekton territory. The
Not
stalemate was finally broken.
don't
Kellerman's
take that as
actions
like
that
gospel.
day
Don't take it as
earned
like
him the nickname,
accurate lore.
The hero of Mainz.
I just gave him Drakens because of the
Belka
time
was
frame.
close to achieving victory. Rekta was in serious trouble. They need to act fast if they want to have a chance at winning this war.
Plus, I didn't give
But all of their
Silver
best
Team
pilots
F-16s
could not
because
stand toe-to-toe
F-16
against the
at that
hero of
time wouldn't have
Mainz
been
and
invented
Silber
yet or
Team.
created.
Throughout the war, Kellerman continued
Hey bros,
to
the
provide
Pokemon
close
Strangers
air
first
support
Gulf
for
War
Belka's
can't stay
forces
long, man.
as they marched towards Rekta's
No, it's
capital,
not
Kor.
their first Gulf War.
It is even said that Kellerman's skills were so sharp, he could sense the best course of action for a battle before it even started.
How did he?
Kellerman's natural-born
Ugh.
talent and
I
skills
got
as a fighter
destroyed.
pilot allowed the Belkan army to capture Kor
Oh,
and
man.
defeat the Rekton Liberation Front.
Well, that's sad.
The Rekton conflict was over.
It's just two dudes.
Rekta, no longer a nation, was forcibly assimilated into Belka. Soon
Now we
after
got
the
a big
invasion,
Belka.
an emboldened Belka transformed into a federation. A federation is a union of partially self-governing states or regions that is governed under a central federal government. In this case, the Belkan Federation redrew the lines within its territory,
Oof.
and the following regions were
I
formed.
saw the transition.
The core regions,
Wasn't matched
Nord
up perfectly.
Belka and South Belka, and its annexed eastern territories, which includes the former Rekta.
Old Rekta.
However, Rekta would not be gone for long. At the height of Belka's economic crisis in the late 1980s due to increased military spending, Belka allowed its eastern territories to secede in an attempt to stabilize the economy. The Northeastern Territory, which encompassed Old Rekton territory, seceded on February 8, 1988, becoming the nation Gebet. However, some citizens of the former Rekton nation wished to see their old nation restored. On December 16, 1991, a portion of southern Gebet seceded, and Rekta was reborn. But peace for the nation would not last very long.
With the discovery of natural resources in former Belkan territories, Belka began to invade its neighbors on March 25, 1995. It was the beginning of the Belkan War. But for now, pilots, we will discuss the events of the Belkan War in another video. If you like this video of strange real history, please intercept and destroy
Alright, I may
the
consider
like and subscribe
subscribing.
button if you wish
Alright.
to see.
Here's what we can do. I feel like one more video. I have one more video in me. But I'm going to play it. I'm going to go get some food. Shouldn't take too long. I just got to warm up something in the microwave. What would you like to watch? We got Nordinavik. Probably my most memey video ever. And kind of closest to like a video game review, which is not really a good review. It's just me ranting. Just having fun with it. Zone of Endless, Azure Fleet, Gleipnir, as I used to call it. Not anymore. God, how many? 13 videos. That's pretty solid. That's my season 0. 13. Nice. Azure Fleet. So why you use light mode? Oh. Hang on a sec. Well, it's morning time for you, Scramp. I know that you're on the other side of the world where I'm at. Maybe I like the brightness. I don't even know how to do dark mode. Now that I think about it, I'm a dingus. Dark mode, appearance, device name. There you go. There, you guys better? Is that... Your eyes not hurt anymore? Did you do Gleipnir? I did not do Gleipnir yet. Now, we could do 2 videos. We could do Gleipnir and then do anything else. Scrimp, did we cover the Ulysses saga? We only covered preparing for Ulysses. We didn't do Planetfall and Aftermath, but that one I feel like I'm going to not talk as much on that one because it feels more cinematic. Plus, there is a copyrighted song on there that's not Ace Combat, not NetZone. So I would have to stop that one. Azure Fleet sounds good. If we want to watch that as the last one, part 1 of it, Gleipnir, Zoe, Gleipnir, Azure. Zoe, let's do the Fleet. I'm seeing a lot of Azure Fleet. Okay. We're going to do Azure Fleet, and then if you guys feel like it, we'll do Gleipnir, and probably finish it off with Zoe. We could do that. I'm going to play Azure Fleet. I'm going to go warm up some zucchini boats. I believe, literally, hey, that's actually perfect timing. Zucchini boats. All right, chat, I'll be right back, okay?
Following Aruja's takeover of San
Time for
Silvastion
zucchini
and
boats.
the meteorite interceptor Stonehenge, members of the UTO discussed plans to form a military alliance capable of countering Aruja's military forces. With no sign of Aruja backing down, the newly formed military coalition, ISAF, carried out an airborne operation to destroy Stonehenge. However, the mission failed, and the massive loss of aerial power forced ISAF to evacuate from the mainland to North Point. Despite failed efforts to eliminate the remaining ISAF forces stationed at North Point, Aruja deployed their invincible Azure Fleet in order to deliver the final blow.
Set off as soon as we're ready. Full speed ahead once we're underway.
I think this calls for a little history lesson.
The Azure Fleet was the largest and most powerful fleet division in the Arujan Navy. It earned the nickname the Invincible Fleet due to it being the most highly skilled, equipped, and trained division during the Continental War. The Arujan Navy also boasted that the Azure Fleet was untouchable and unsinkable from any form of enemy attack. Now, a quick side note before I talk about the ships that made up the fleet. Ace Combat 4 incorrectly classifies all destroyers as cruisers and all frigates as destroyers. This mistake was also copied into Ace Combat 7, so in order for me to remain accurate to the Strange Rail canon, I will be classifying the vessels the same way they are classified in the games. This is to help clear up any confusion when I show an image of a frigate and refer to it as a destroyer. So let's continue on. 36 vessels made up the entire Azure fleet. 9 Cassard-class destroyers, 1 Lafayette-class destroyer, 9 Hatakazi-class cruisers, 7 Los Angeles-class submarines, 1 Ticonderoga-class Aegis cruiser, 1 Kitty Hawk-class aircraft carrier, 2 Pegasus-class missile boats, 2 Toyota-class supply ships, 2 landing ships, 1 container ship, and finally, the flagship of the invincible Azure fleet itself, the Tanager, an Iowa-class battleship equipped with 9 16-inch 50 caliber Mark 7 guns, along with additional armaments to take out enemy vessels. Now this is an unusual choice because most flagships in modern Strange Rail navies are aircraft carriers, due to it being a massive mobile air base with superior firepower. Since the Azure fleet has one aircraft carrier, the Geophon, that ship would have been the preferred choice. However, this isn't the case. One possible reason why Aruja chose the Tanager to be the flagship was the battleship's intimidating appearance. Despite being outdated compared to modern military vessels, you can't argue that a battleship aiming its large guns can be an awesome and intimidating sight on the battlefield. Another interesting note to point out is that the captain of the Tanager, Matthias Torres, had an affinity to naval gunfire and marksmanship. This is reflected by his achievement during the Yuuzhan coup d'etat, where he hit an enemy ship 30 kilometers away in the middle of a storm as the Hearn's gunnery officer.
Fire away!
Ramen that's healthy, wholesome, and jam-packed with life-sustaining protein. It's not magic. It's the special cooking technique we use that eliminates the need for deep frying, preserving the authentic flavor without adding any extra fat. It doesn't taste good. It tastes great. It's all about the sauce, and ours is rich and savory with no added preservatives or harsh chemicals. Variety? You better believe it. Whether it's our original ramen, famed for its rich soy flavor, the sesame paste with its earthy, nutty taste, or the spicy sesame oil that's toasted and infused with red chili peppers. They're all ridiculously delicious, ultra affordable, and available right now. Just click the link below to order yours today.
With
I'm
YouTube
back.
Premium,
Sorry.
you can watch as many videos as you want
Oh my God, why
without
are they-
pausing for ads. Get into
An
what
ad
you're
right
into
now.
with ad-free videos. Try it on us.
Where's the skip button? Oh, too late.
Hell yeah! Well done!
So if Torres can achieve a feat like that in a destroyer during
my
the middle of a
zucchini boat,
storm,
sorry.
imagine what he could accomplish with a single battleship. This is probably just one reason as to why the Tanager was designated as the flagship. Although the
big
Azure
boat.
fleet is well
That's why it was
remembered for its
designated
role
as the
during
flagship.
Continental War, and when one of its ships, the Hearn, took part during the Yuuzhan coup d'etat, any additional information regarding the Azure fleet is unknown. Despite this lack of information, I can guess that the Azure fleet may have performed humanitarian
Yeah, I'm good.
operations after the
I'm good,
asteroid
Hamlin. I
Ulysses
just need
made
food.
planetfall on the Yuuzhan continent.
Scram, what's
The
up?
location where the fleet could have provided the most aid would have been Farbanti.
I need to get a knife.
The fleet could have helped out with rescuing citizens trapped
Oh,
in the
that's a good
sunken
Farbanti
municipal
one.
district, and helped set up refugee centers around the
I'm gonna get a
capital.
knife.
But regardless of what they were doing, the continent would be thrown into war in the year 2003. During the early stages of the Continental War, ISAF's naval force did not engage the Azure fleet. Any attempts to fight the Erusian Navy head-on would have been suicide. However, the Azure fleet was not ISAF's main priority. ISAF's first goal was to destroy the Erusian-controlled Stonehenge, since its anti-asteroid railguns were very capable of shooting down planes.
Began.
A special attack force made up of 24 veteran pilots flying F-15C Eagles and F-15E Strike Eagles were tasked to carry out this daring airborne operation. As the fighters approached the facility, the AWACS accompanying them detected 5 unidentified signatures headed towards them. It was the infamous Yellow Squadron.
Yellow Squadron.
5 Yellows proceeded to eliminate all 24 ISAF fighters.
And 3 other peeps at the bottom. Tried to do the map like Ace Combat 7
The complete
too.
failure of the airborne operation
Didn't do it again.
allowed
It
the
took
Erusians
way
to
too
advance
long.
to the east unhindered, occupying the city of Los Canes and Ista Fortress. The remaining ISAF forces retreated from the mainland and regrouped at its new GHQ in North Point. With the mainland overtaken, Erusia needs to destroy the final
There's a dog
GHQ
on my bed?
at North Point in order
Two
to
dogs
win the
on my
war.
bed.
At the time, the Azure fleet
They're
was
good
stationed
boys
at
and
Fort
girls.
Bonte since Erusia didn't need their naval fleet to eliminate ISAF's weak military. Instead, a large bomber force stationed at Wrigley Air Base was able to slip through ISAF's radar and was heading to Allen Fort and the remaining
Stupid thought
GHQ
that I'm
on
gonna say out
September
loud.
19th,
Wrigley Air Base
2004.
sounds like a gum.
However,
like
the tide
Wrigley
of war
gum.
would favor ISAF, as the new recruit Mobius 1 and all remaining ISAF fighters intercepted
just
and
me.
destroyed all Erusian
Hey,
bombers
that's when I got
over
some
Newfield
shadow on
Island.
that.
Soon, Mobius 1
Definitely
and
no shadow on
ISAF
that one.
began
I was
to win
still
a
kind of
string
scared to
small
do
victories,
shading.
destroying the remaining bombers at Wrigley Air Base.
Stonehenge take
and
out
assisting
ground
the
targets with
ground
indirect
forces
fire.
trapped on the mainland.
I know in Infinity
allowing
they
them
did.
to regroup at North Point without being
I
detected
don't know
by enemy radar.
how far we want to stretch it with
Proving to be more
Stranger
resilient
Lore.
than before, Erusia deployed their invincible Azure fleet, where they will travel to North Point and deal a lethal blow with its immense firepower. But during the journey, the Azure fleet needed to dock at Comberth Harbor. Sometime before November 7th, 2004, the fleet docked at Comberth Harbor and began to refuel and resupply. Understanding the threat the Azure fleet posed, ISAF carried out a multi-operation campaign focused on delaying the fleet's resupply efforts. Operation Hunting
I just
Hawk's
wanna
objective
comment on
was to secure the airspace around Comberth
Hamlin's-
Harbor and destroy
Hamlin
the
fan's
Erusian
comment
transport
before.
planes attempting to deliver supplies.
Let me see it. He was saying something
Later
about.
on, November 19th, 2004, Operation
I think I've said this
Early Bird
before, but the
focused on
Planetfall video
neutralizing
inspired
the
me to
nearby
draw.
petrochemical
I am-
complex that supplied the fleet
I'm
with
very
fuel.
happy that
Although the operation was a partial success,
that
Erusia lost
my
5 million
my
barrels of reserve crude
cartoonish,
oil and the
poorly
ability to
drawn
process
videos are inspiring people to
250,000 barrels daily.
are inspiring you
As a
guys
result,
to
the
want to
Azure
get into
fleet was
drawing.
immobilized in Comberth Harbor.
I
The
really
success
appreciate
of
it.
Operation
I
Hunting
think that
Hawk
is
and
the most
Early Bird left
the
the Azure
awesome.
fleet stranded
I think
and
drawing is a
relatively
great hobby to get
defenseless
into.
in Comberth Harbor. This gave
Something
ISAF
about
the
it,
upper hand
you-
it needed to organize a
You
final
can think in a different
operation.
way. You can think three-dimensional in a 2D form.
We
Format.
will launch a surprise attack on the Ager fleet while it lies immobilized at Comberth Harbor. This large-scale airstrike will be the largest and the most strategic operation since the transfer of HQ to North Point. You may need to resupply along the way because this operation will be long in duration. Remember, it is imperative that you complete the mission objective and return to base safely.
Okay, here's what. Nice.
November 23rd, 2004, 12 o'clock p.m. Fighters launched from ISAF Navy aircraft carriers arrive at Comberth Harbor airspace. They will partake in the final mission of ISAF's three-pronged campaign, Operation
That's
Rough
not bad.
Seas. AWAC Sky Eye gives the order to the pilots. Sink the invincible Azure fleet while they're at anchor.
This video kind of shows how
Mobius 1
the
spots his
objects are
targets
getting
at the
formed.
main docking facility to the west. He begins his attack. The rest of the pilots either
But I would
follows
definitely
him or
comment
split
on
off to
having
attack the
better.
fuel and ammo dump
I need to get better
stations at the
outlines,
submarine docks.
line work too.
The crew aboard the
I think it was
Fenris,
at this point that I
Kolga,
was thinking
Hearn,
about it.
and Lazuli are unaware of the incoming attack. Mobius 1 makes quick work of the unsuspecting warships. He moves on to attack the remaining warships and support vessels spread across the harbor. Panic sets in
Even though there
as
was
the
some
crew on the
perspective on
remaining
that,
ships
those images,
realized what was happening.
I still couldn't figure
Erusian
it out.
fighters were deployed and
I don't know how
immediately
I-
engaged the
it was
attackers.
just guessing check.
The airspace was littered with ISAF and Erusian planes fighting ferociously while warships sank in the harbor. Captain Matthias Torres managed to lead a detachment of the Azure fleet's capital ships past the bridge. Torres was going to attempt to escape to open waters. Mobius 1 quickly pursues the fleeing ships. The warships return fire, but Mobius 1 flies through the barrage of bullets and anti-air missiles.
Nice.
Carrier Geophon sunk.
Oh, this is a little too loud. My audio mixing wasn't that good.
Cruiser Beluga sunk. Aegis class Raven sunk.
He was able to inflict significant damage to the Tanager, Geophon, Raven, and Beluga. While the Tanager was taking in water, Taurus refocused to abandon their planned assault on North Point. 5 days after the Tanager sank, Matthias Torres was reassigned to the Erusian Navy's headquarters. On
That's
December
actually not a
24th,
bad
Torres earned a medal as well as the
picture
title
of Torres.
the Hero of Comberth Harbor for his
We
heroic
killed Torres.
act of rescuing his fellow sailors from the sinking Tanager during
I
the
think that's
battle.
when I got more into the forum.
With the most
After
powerful and
watching more
threatening
of, like,
fleet
the
out of the
YouTube
way, the ISAF Navy would
tutorial
begin to
videos
take a
on
more
Sugar
active role in future
Did it
operations.
lag? Mm-mm.
They began to formulate plans to invade the Usian mainland. ISAF has many more obstacles to overcome if they wish to win the war. However, ISAF's
Join my Patreon
successful
for Operation
three-pronged
Bunker Shot
campaign
whenever
to
that
sink
comes
the
out.
invincible Azure fleet proves that they can overcome any challenge Erusia throws at them.
Mainly Mobius 1, but
If you like this
They got
video
it.
of Strange Real History, please intercept and destroy the like and subscribe button if you wish to see more Strange Real History videos. As always, my name is Silver
yes.
Seversoul, and I'll see you
Stonehenge
next
is a
time.
hybrid
Soul out.
railgun. It does use electromagnetic shell or electromagnetic magnets. What the heck? I can't talk. I am so dumb. No. Bad Mike's Hard Lemonade. So what do you think about Azure Fleet? Which one is your guys' favorite? I know I kind of talk about my thought process and how I feel. But what is your guys' favorite video of the channel so far? Out of Season 0. We'll call this Season 0. What the heck's playing? Oh! That's not right. Hang on. Are we good? Stream lag for a little bit. Alright. Gleipnir, Planetfall. You really like Planetfall. I'm not gonna lie, I do like that one too. That one does need a remaster. Gleipnir, yeah? Here's your fleet. Planetfall. So what about those two? Is there anything specific, like, is like towards the end where it kind of go into a little more cinematic talking about things, or is it more like it's just more like the topic of conversation? Yes. Azure Fleet and Excalibur. I think that's why. Yeah. Alright. You know what? I think we gotta rip the band-aid here. Time to explain myself. And this was also around the time when, towards the end when I was finishing making this video, was when Tomcat 141 left. So I was like, you know what, I gotta say something, you know, just, we'll pay this as tribute. He's not forgotten, so it's right there, gonna be there forever. That logo. Tomcat, oh, not 141. I'm an idiot. Damn. I'm an idiot. 171. I keep thinking 141 for some reason. Task Force 141.
Strange Real History, helping fans old and new understand the
That's
in-game
not
lore
too
from the
bad.
Ace Combat series. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Enjoy.
Yeah. Time for the Gleipnir. Let's count.
Imagine yourself in this situation.
All right.
The year is 2020.
Dear God,
you
no.
are an Aurelian soldier stationed within one of the nation's cities. It has been a few days since the nation of Liasath has declared war against Aurelia. So far, Liasath has already
What happened to
occupied
Tomcat?
some of the northern
He
territory.
stopped
But
YouTube.
you and
He's
your
combat
fellow
YouTube
troops
and he
are
nuked
determined
his
to
channel.
push the invading force out of Aurelia. Right now, you are preparing to head to your assigned location on the other side of the city. Suddenly, you hear a low rumble coming from the sky. The troops begin to talk on the radio, saying they hear the noise too.
It's an ad. That's what that sound is. Ready? Thuma, simple and sophisticated. Clean lines, subtle curves. Mindfully designed, will last a lifetime. Thuma. Now back to our daily programming with murder. Oh, they're all dead. But now you want to get Thuma, right?
Suddenly, the massive fortress in the sky disappears. Witnessing this, do you retreat to live and fight another day? Or stay and risk getting vaporized by Liasath's superweapon, the Gleipnir?
Gleipnir. The worst part is,
I think this calls for
I
a little history lesson.
looked up Google how to pronounce it, and
The Gleipnir is a large Liasathian
two.
airborne fortress that was deployed shortly after the
I know how
Liasath
it
Civil
sounds.
War.
I know how it's supposed to be said, and
Under
I
the
kept saying
direction of
Gleipnir.
Diego Gaspar Navarro, the Gleipnir was designed to overwhelm the enemy with its heavy firepower.
Gleep,
Due
Amaji.
to its immense size, the Gleipnir was developed as a flying boat because there weren't any runways big
Alright,
enough
someone
to
needs to
allow
please
it to land or
keep
take
count of
off.
this, how many times I say it. I think that's 4.
This behemoth flew with 3 signature weapons during the Aurelian War: optical camouflage, the shock cannon, and shock-wave ballistic missile.
The Gleep cannon.
Optical camouflage, aka retro reflective
Gleep cloak.
projection technology, is a type
That's
of
we're gonna
camouflage
just rename
that
everything to
conceals the
Gleep.
Gleipnir through refraction of light.
Gleep cloak.
The technology takes in the background of the fuselage. Then it takes the information and projects the background
And it just
behind the
gleeps it all over the
across
place.
the surface of the fuselage. This makes the aircraft nearly invisible to the naked eye. Not completely invisible, because the aircraft could be tracked if someone noticed
completely,
any
not
visual
entirely.
distortions in the sky. Gleipnir's optical camouflage was able to render enemy radar and missile tracking ineffective. However, this advanced technology had its limitations. Even when the Gleipnir's camouflage was active, it was still vulnerable to enemy blind fire. The system would fail if it received too much damage.
Okay.
While the Gleipnir could not maintain
The
its
Romulans
optical
would be
camouflage while
funny.
firing its weapons, its stealth allowed it to surprise the Aurelian military and deal great damage when they least expected.
With its Gleep cannon. The Gleep cannon.
The shock cannon is the weapon you saw during the intro of the video. The shock cannon was a Meson-based air-to-ground weapon powered by a particle
a
accelerator
terrifying thing
located
to see.
inside the aircraft.
You're just doing your job and you look up and there's that.
For those of you who aren't
Just
familiar,
blows you up.
a particle accelerator is a machine that uses electromagnetic fields to propel charged particles to very high speeds and energies. The Large Hadron Collider located near Geneva is the best real-world example of a particle accelerator.
Hot Gleep gas.
But the Hadron Collider is a synchrotron particle accelerator, which accelerates the charged particle around a fixed closed-loop path. Instead, the Gleipnir uses a cyclotron particle accelerator, which accelerates the charged particle in a spiral path. It accomplishes this feat by using a combination of high-frequency alternating voltage, 2 hollow D-shaped sheet metal electrodes called Ds,
One
and
person in
2
the comment
electromagnets.
section for this video, when he heard
Here is how it works.
those metal sheets
I'm not a
called
physicist.
Ds,
My explanation on how
he
a
literally
cyclotron
said
works is
Ds.
going to be
He
very
literally
general,
commented with
and
the
a lot
Ds
of the
nuts
details
joke.
are going to be left out in this video.
Only him.
I will leave a link to the wiki page that goes into more detail on how it works if you guys are curious. Anyways, onto the presentation.
That's what they're called. They're
The
called Ds.
particle is placed into the center of the gap between the Ds. The voltage is applied and creates
Soul
an
petition to rename your
oscillating
channel to
electric field that
Gleeptus
accelerates the
Eversoul?
particle.
No. You cannot.
Each time the particle
We-
passes to
we
the
will not
other D,
petition.
the polarity of
I
the voltage
refuse.
reverses.
You do not
This
get a
causes
choice
the
in that
particle
one.
To increase its acceleration and move
There will
in
be
a
no
larger
democracy
radius
on
circle,
renaming
hence the spiral path.
renaming me to Gleeptus Eversoul or
Once the
Salutis
particle approaches
Gleepsoul.
the rim of the D, it exits through a small
more
gap
gleeps.
and hits a target
Gleeps are
located
bad.
at the exit point, causing a reaction. Just before the cyclotron charges the particle, the disc-shaped device on the undercarriage spreads a cloud of explosive gas dubbed Meson fuel. The Meson fuel is then ignited by a directed Meson
You know,
discharge
Salutis
from the
Gleepsoul would be
cyclotron,
funny for my
resulting
second
in anyone
stream
within
channel.
the gas-covered area to be
Welcome to the
vaporized.
Gleepsoul.
The Shockwave Ballistic Missile, or SWBM, was a special long-range ballistic
That missile has no
Similar to the
exhaust
shot
pipe.
cannon, each missile carried its
Exhaust
own
thrust.
disposable
It's got exhaust
cyclotron
thrust, but it
particle
doesn't have its
accelerator and
three-dimensional
Meson
form
fuel.
on its back.
The Meson fuel would be dispersed once the missile reached its target. Similar to the shot cannon, the cyclotron did its job, ignited the fuel, and caused a massive energy explosion. The shockwave spreads in a horizontal motion,
But the
destroying
plane on
any
the bottom
aircraft
was
flying
okay.
at high altitudes. However, as a result of air pressure differences, the blast wave
Where is
will
it? Answer
not
me now,
have any
Gleep Gene.
effect at low altitudes.
Gleep Gene! Gleeptus Gleepsoul.
The Gleipnir was deployed in Aurelia
Salt
shortly
Ludius
after the
Eversoul.
destruction
Why do you
of
guys do
Gander,
this to me?
a prototype version of the
This is
Gleipnir.
abuse. This is abuse.
The Gleipnir was able to conquer almost all of Aurelia within 10 days thanks to its superior firepower and stealth capabilities. Out of all of the captured Aurelian cities, the city of Santa Elva would become the Gleipnir's base of operations since the city had a large river running through it. There was only one base in southwestern Aurelia that hasn't
Thank you for
fallen
picking this
under
video.
their
You are
control,
welcome.
Aubrey Base.
Oh, come on.
Our boyfriend killed himself. She was
The crying girl. Inspired by the kid.
They've
Wait,
opened
is
an
this real?
investigation into your connection with the death of...
As long as Liasath was able to take over
Probably look at
Aurelia's
that
last
later.
base of operation, they would have full control over the nation. On day 11 of the invasion, a small squadron of bombers and fighters was sent to bomb Aubrey Base. However, Aurelia still had a small air force and sent Gryphus Squadron to intercept and destroy the bombers. Gryphus Squadron was successful, and all B-52
It's
bombers
amazing
were
to see
destroyed.
how
This defeat surprised Liasath's
How much I've
Central Command,
improved over the
and
years.
they realized that they needed to get rid of Aurelia's remaining
my
air
line
force.
work has.
Not too far from the battle, the Gleipnir
My
received
current day line
orders
work
from
does not
Navarro to
look like
decimate
this at
Gryphus
all.
Squadron. While Gryphus Squadron was celebrating their victory, they were immediately attacked by an SWBM.
We need more videos like this, Soul. More cinematic. Take a drink whenever Soul butchers the. Excuse me. I just gleeped at my shirt.
Only 3 fighters survived the surprise attack.
This is what you guys do to me.
But Aurelia continued to fight on, and they pushed southwards, taking back Puna Base and Port Patterson. Soon, Aurelia would gather their forces for an attack on Santa Elva, but the Gleipnir was still a major threat to the Aurelian forces. A large Aurelian fleet was sent to search and destroy
What
the
would you
Gleipnir
do if
located near Terminus Island.
the Gleep showed up over your house?
While the fleet continued its search, the Gleipnir deactivated its optical camouflage and used its shock
I think
cannon
Gleep
to
is spelled with
vaporize
2
the
E's.
Aurelian Third Fleet. While the Gleipnir proceeded to
Gleepies?
destroy the remaining
I'm very
Aurelian
gleepy.
fleet,
More
Gryphus
history
1 appeared.
lessons on super weapons?
Gryphus
Okay.
1 successfully disabled the Gleipnir's optical camouflage system and its SWBM launch
Gleep you?
ports. The Gleipnir gained altitude and escaped to Santa
Francis.
Elva in order to receive repairs. But the attack on Santa Elva came
Here,
sooner
this is
than
how you spell
expected.
Gleep.
The Gleipnir was still undergoing repairs. The only viable
Right there,
weapons were
Gleep.
its AA and
G-L-E-E-P.
SAMSUNs. Gryphus
Time to get
continued to
gleeped.
pummel the Gleipnir with missiles and soon destroyed all onboard AA and
Gleepy
SAMSUNs.
McSqueaker.
The Gleipnir appears to be
Should be an
finished.
Elden Ring character.
But the commander of the Gleipnir, Captain Frank Burlington, did not accept defeat and somehow managed to flip the Gleipnir upside down with the intent to fire the shot cannon on Gryphus 1. His plan failed. the inner systems failed and the Gleipnir plunged into
he
the
went.
Lunel
He
River.
gleeped under his gleep.
Some of the crew survived the crash and were taken
Get
prisoner.
gleeped. All right.
The Gleipnir was destroyed. The news reached Liasath High Command in Aurelia's capital, Griswold, and the capital was
Gleep, modern
fortified and
Gleepware.
protected by the Maison cannon.
Gleep War
But
2.
Navarro did not stop with the Gleipnir. He had other plans. Following the destruction of the Gleipnir, Navarro ordered
Go
his
outside,
scientists
look up,
and
and say,
engineers
"Holy cow,
in
I'm in a nice
Liasath
combat
to
game."
use the battle data acquired from the airborne fortress and create the XFA-33 Fenrir.
Hey, and that was a video I
Fenrir
also
would
made.
utilize an
Finally.
improved version of Gleipnir's optical camouflage, a
look
miniature
better than that.
SWBM, and a new microwave weapon.
What the
The
Gleipnir doing?
Fenrir has amazing
I'm gonna keep saying
capabilities,
Gleipnir now.
But just like the Gleipnir,
Return to
it would
Gleep.
be
Holy
no
crap!
match for the Southern Cross.
It's Gleipnir, not Gleep, not Gleipnir.
If you like this video
Oh,
of Strange
God,
Real
no.
History, please intercept and destroy the like
I don't-
and subscribe
I don't know how to-
button if you wish to
Whoa,
see
that was a
more
bad
Strange
thumb.
Real History videos. As always,
nose
my
does
name
not
is
look
Saluda
like that.
Seversol, and I'll see you next time.
I have no
Soul
neck.
out.
I look like I'm a murderer. That's not good. Which Super Fighter is my favorite? I will definitely say the one on screen right now, as you see. New microwave weapon.
Hey guys, I want you to check out this game called Galahad 3093. Galahad 3093 is a mech-based hero shooter set in a sci-fi future.
What's this one? Oh, we already did Arcbird. Okay, we did Azure. Did the Gleep Jeeps. We got Excalibur. I heard one for Zoe. Do you guys want to do Zoe? CFA 44. Oh, darn, yes. Guys, how am I gonna... If I turn off advertising, how am I gonna get the dough? How am I gonna get the dough boys, the moolah, for on the side? Just a little bit of ads. I'm trying to think. Planetfall, Zoe. I have the kit of it. The intense stare at the end is telling us to like the video or else the Gleipnir will come after us. Do this now. You will like this video. Or get gleeped. I can't say it. It's so bad. Turn it off until after stream? Wow, why didn't I think of that? How do I do that? Here. Oh, if I mess it right now, then it's not gonna work. Darn it. Here. Imagine paying tax. Oh God, yeah, I pay taxes. How much taxes do you think you'd be paying? You live in the Ace Combat universe. The same. Being paying hand over Gleep if I were to live in Osea because of all the super weapons that are being made. Shoot. You know what?
June 1998.
We're going right
the
into
construction team at Hattai's Desert, located in West Usea, finished building the complex of the Defender of Usea, Stonehenge. Stonehenge, a vast anti-air railgun network, was created to intercept and destroy the oncoming fragments from Ulysses. All that is left is to construct the 8 hybrid railgun turrets and to get Stonehenge operational before July 3rd, 1999. This task will be easy to achieve. With a firing range of 1,200 kilometers, the nations of Usea believe that Stonehenge will be enough to take out all of the fragments from striking the surface. They were wrong.
What do you mean no medical care, Maximilian? There is definitely medical care.
I think this calls for a little history lesson.
What are you talking about?
On July 1998, both IAU research teams at Seals
is
Bridge
rectangle.
and Pomona Islands completed their monthly report based on new findings that Ulysses has a hollow interior.
That's what that
Data from the
scientist was
IAU
doing.
probe and recalculations from the computer model determined that the asteroid will at first split into 2 fragments before breaking apart into smaller fragments. As a result, Ulysses will strike a much larger area of the planet's surface than had been originally predicted. Stonehenge's range, which was thought to provide sufficient coverage, would not be able to reach any fragment outside of the 1,200 kilometer radius.
The updated report was announced to the public. Not only did the world learn that the asteroid would affect the entire Usian continent, the continent of Ania would also be hit by the oncoming fragments. Specifically, the nations Emeria and
Microsoft Paint was
Estovakia.
not kind to me.
With the news disclosed, the question arose if Usia would also
Lawrence
protect
here,
Emeria
when are you
and
going to upgrade
Estovakia by
STM's
upgrading
range?
Stonehenge's range in order to intercept fragments over Ania. Sadly,
Hey,
the FCU opted to
we
make
ain't upgrading
Stonehenge more
STM's range.
reliable
Sorry for the
Usia and
inconvenience.
refused to make any additional revisions to the weapon's range.
Heck,
This decision
anyway.
did not sit well with the nations of Ania, as
Heck,
evident by the continent-wide protest.
Okay. Oh, I thought FCU evil. I thought he dropped the F word for a second. I thought he dropped the F word for a second. FCU evil, FCU bad. You for real, Usia. Help us. Meanie, jerks, boo. Belka did nothing wrong. Boo on you, man. Hey, that's when I got another meme.
Towards Usia. Now, the
That's a
FCU
little
chose
mean.
not to upgrade Stonehenge because the weapon had reached a point in its development where further
Sorry,
modifications
STM has
could
reached a
not be
point in
made.
development where
Even
further
if the
mods
weapon
would be
could
bad.
receive
Even if we
upgrades,
could, who's to
the
say we would
FCU
get
would still be
upgrades
against the
done on
idea.
time?
They feared that the railguns receiving modifications would not be
up
operational
creek without
on
a
the day
paddle.
when
We
Ulysses
can't take that risk,
bombards
I'm
the
so sorry.
planet. Frustrated and confronted with an extremely hopeless situation, Lord Alberto Lawrence, a descendant of the famous
Hi,
Amerian
Alberto.
ruler
You can
King
always see me at the
Aurelius II,
castle.
devised a
In my
plan.
chair.
If Usia is acting offensively, then Ameria and its neighbors will act defensively.
Shield!
His plan was to build an underground shelter beneath Grace Maria's castle. Since castles are built to be a defensive stronghold against enemy attacks, the shelters would be capable of housing up to 200,000 civilians and foreign refugees from Usia. Also, Grace Maria Castle and the underground shelter would be flood-proof because the castle sat on top of a large hill, which means any fragments hitting
How
the
did I do
ocean
this
and
one?
causing huge waves
Oh, I
would
like that
not
one.
reach the top of the hill
It's
where
a
the
good little
castle
visual.
stood. But Lawrence knew that Grace Maria Castle would not be capable of housing all refugees and relocated citizens. Lawrence advocated to the royal families who owned castles that served as historical monuments
As,
to follow
um,
his refugee plan.
As a part
They
of the
agreed.
video that
Also,
isn't
the American
full of
government
action,
fully supported
I
Lawrence and
really
helped
like
out with the
how the
relief plan
music
by using
kind of
their own
fits with
naval
this
vessels
part.
and aircraft to transport
'Cause
civilians
it
away
gives it hope.
from high-impact
'Cause it's
areas,
like urgency,
as well as
but hope.
transport humanitarian aid organizations to areas where they were needed. While Ameria chose to stay on the
So
defensive,
it's very uplifting.
their next-door neighbors, Estovakia, decided, heck, if the FCU can build a defense weapon, we can build one too.
Comrades,
And
build a
construction
bigger gun.
of the
Let's go.
Estovakian
Put it on
anti-asteroid
iceberg.
weapon, Chandelier, began. Chandelier was a giant fixed railgun cannon, way bigger than any of Stonehenge's
I
turrets.
think I can draw that
The fixed railgun was constructed on top of a large iceberg that would allow the railgun to turn. In order to power each
Excuse me.
shot, Chandelier generated power via conduction of seawater. Chandelier's ammunition, Storos, was a unique shell
Watame.
loaded with cruise
Who's
missiles.
Watame?
The shells would be loaded onto a
he
conveyor
a
belt
VTuber?
beneath the railgun
It's
and
not
raised into the
Vitami.
firing chamber via elevator. Chandelier would charge the shot and fire the shell. The shell would rapidly travel to the oncoming fragment and release its
Huge
payload
ball.
of cruise missiles
Yeah,
that
that
would
one.
fly and destroy the targets. Estovakia has roughly 1 year to
Thought
get
that said
Chandelier
FCU
operational.
bald.
Back on
FCU is
Usia,
bald. You're
the UTO
bald. That's
announced
how we
its
can't trust you.
intentions
That's
to
why we
shelter
can't
any
trust you. You have no
refugees
hair.
after the planetfall. While Stonehenge was nearing completion, Usia and Anya made final preparations before the day arrived. The table is set. All they can do now is pray.
You for real, Usia? Ad.
Wow, check you out. Eating lower sugar Halo Top Fruit Pops.
Yeah.
Doing all that running, taking bubble bath.
Yeah, I'll bring it back a little bit.
Day arrived. The table is set. All they can do now is pray.
Alright. The serious part. This is where it all began. Chris, thank you for joining 10K subs. Thank you very much, man.
At 3:30 p.m., Usia Eastern Standard Time, Ulysses passed through Earth's Roche limit and broke apart into two large fragments as predicted. One is headed towards Anya, the other straight for Usia. Emeria gives the emergency order for its citizens and refugees to seek shelter. They are ready. The Estovakians are unable to complete Chandelier in time due to the complexity of the weapon's design. Only part of the barrel is built. Estovakia have no weapon to defend themselves. They are a sitting duck. Back on Usia, Stonehenge is finished and fully operational. Her 8 railgun turrets go online earlier that day. The STN crew and turret operators are on standby. They prepared for this moment for 4.5 years. They wait for the fragments to enter the atmosphere. On July 8th, the Ulysses fragments began to hit the planet. Stonehenge responded with a volley of anti-asteroid rounds. For the next 2 weeks, the 8,192 supercomputers would work non-stop calculating the fragment's destined point of impact.
Alright, so I'm going to pause very quickly on this one for a little bit. Just want to explain a lot of the music choices here kind of shaped how I wanted to present this too. So what I usually do is I will listen to songs and then I'll do like running, doing the dishes, or some type of other activity that's not drawing, just to get my mind off of it and just wander. My mind will wander into thinking about like different scenarios, different types of things going on. It's like I'm playing a movie in my head, or like a trailer, movie trailer. How epic can I make it? And this is one of the things. So the song from Ace Combat Assault Horizon, the last mission where you're defending the defending Washington DC. I think it was called. Actually, it wasn't called Rise. I think it was called Reprise. Release. It was called Release. That one I listened to and I thought this would fit perfectly for a Ulysses Day scenario. It is the perfect track for everything's not good. Everything is not good. We are trying to survive. And we're gonna fight trying. We have a little bit of hope here, but it's not gonna be pretty. And that's what that song, to me, that's how I was feeling. That's what I was thinking in these scenarios. I know I had a couple of comments later on saying like, oh, you should have used the Stonehenge music from Assault. No, not Assault. From Ace Combat 04. I'm not demeaning. It's late. I gotta temper my attitude a little bit. It's not ill will against the commenters, but I can see why a lot of people who were gonna make this type of video would kind of pick that song, the Stonehenge song, Stonehenge Offensive. It just didn't fit. When I pick music, I like to pick tracks that fit, and that one, Release, fit the mood perfectly. So that's why I picked that one. And don't underestimate Assault Horizon soundtracks and missions, like some of its missions. It's good. It's a lot of the problems that I'm hearing from people that they're all chalking it down to is the dogfight mode and how that's kind of forced. I bet you if there was an option to turn that off, I think it would have been fine. I think people would have been okay with it. But I think it's just a few people really didn't like it, and they really didn't like it as in overblown didn't like it, and they just kept building up the hate train, and then people just kind of jumped on. Not like, oh yeah, we'll just jump on and go. It was more like this minority of people kind of just took it to the next degree, next level, and it obviously when that goes out, everybody else is going to stop and think, oh wow, I guess people really think it's that bad, and I guess it's that bad. Funny enough, living where I was during that time in 2011, we didn't really have good internet because we live out in the woods. So I was spared from any reviews from that. I thought Assault Horizon was okay when I first played the game. I could tell like it wasn't really it wasn't Ace Combat from PlayStation 2 games. I could tell that it wasn't those, but it was still Ace Combat. There was still Ace Combat in its blood. It just wasn't the PlayStation 2 or any of the older previous Ace Combat games. And I still enjoyed Assault Horizon. I wouldn't even mind downloading it for Steam too and playing it on a stream in the future on the second channel and going through it. There's some who knows, maybe my current thought and review towards it might change. Maybe it is not as good as I thought it was, you know? Or maybe it's even better. Who knows? But what I do appreciate is that it is a spin-off Ace Combat game where Project Aces wanted to take more risks. I didn't get chat up, sorry. It is if you want to take risks, definitely do it in a spin-off game. Because then you have so many reasons to just try a new mechanic, and that's what they did. That was the game where they did not just the dogfight mode, the what is it? The post-stall maneuvers, the scripted post-stall maneuvers. And that kind of over time led into what they put in for Ace Combat 7. And I really appreciate that, because we probably wouldn't have gotten it, or we gotten something that would have been like Assault Horizon just in Ace Combat 7. So they're building off of that. Plus, Assault Horizon laid a little bit more of a foundation for Ace Combat Infinity's multiplayer, and then a little bit of multiplayer in Ace Combat 7. What I mean by that is almost like they just took some things from Infinity and put it into 7. It's that they were working on a different engine. So Infinity and Assault Horizon have different game engines than Ace Combat 7, which that was the first time Project Aces was working on an Unreal Engine. So they were learning as they were building the game itself. Now they're a lot more comfortable with it. I'm pretty sure they've had all those years working on 7. Now they're probably going to go into the next one, whichever one, a spin-off, main title, and just be like, got this. We even got the assets. We know how to work Unity. Unreal. It's easy. We can do this. And they just go right in. Was the real world? Dodge the bullet. I mean, that's just... That is what I saw. That's how I feel. I mean, you are free to disagree as much as you want, but I will say we can discuss it. That's what I think is important with this. Like, and we need to find out what is it specifically, like, someone who doesn't really like the game not really like about it. Because more often than not, it's not the entire game. There's like one specific thing that kind of ruins everything else for them that they just don't like. And a lot of the times I kind of noticed the pattern where it was the dogfight mode being forced. Yes, it was very cinematic. I think that's what it was also trying to show is like now in Ace Combat, the plane models are destructible, which I thought was really cool. I do like the destructible planes and having that added on and carried over to Ace Combat 7 and Infinity. Don't forget Infinity. Ace Combat Sotoha. You've been talking to the moon recently, haven't you? Assault Horizon is the one in the real world, right? Because that was absolute trash. Honestly, the story is pretty darn solid. I feel like in Assault Horizon. But again, I gotta go back into it. It's been a while, but it feels like it's just I know going in what happened. Yeah, it's still the whole Call of Duty-ish Russians are the bad guys, but I can understand and see where the villain, why they would do such a thing, but I have to go back and kind of reanalyze and see, like, is it like more of a justification why that is? I think that's perfectly fine. It's always go back into it and kind of challenge what your original thought was, and then kind of see if it still holds up. Because like I said, I can be wrong all the time. I could be wrong right now, and it can go either way. Maybe it's, like I said, maybe the story's really, really great. Maybe it's really, really bad. I just thought it was okay. It was decent. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was good. I think it was okay. For me, Assault Horizon felt a bit too scripted. DFM being forced, yeah, along with scripted aircraft sets. No free aircraft choice, depending on the mission. No. Alright, if you were to say that, I can see that with the bomber mission, but of course you gotta be flying bombers. The helicopter mission, of course you gotta be flying helicopters, and they didn't really have too much of variety, which is, I can see why, but those missions are still far and few in between. I can sort of see the aircraft being limited on certain missions, but I feel like there's an argument to be made where it's like, this is a mission where you're gonna do a ground attacks. You should be like, hey, pick this one. But then again, it could be like kind of like forcing. Yeah, I could see it where it's like forcing the player, forcing their hand into like, now you got to fly these planes. Where in regular Ace Combat games, you could pick whatever the heck you wanted. You could fly in with an A-10 during a fighter mission. Don't know why you would. It's pretty risky and ballsy, but you know what? You could do it. So I guess that's what I'm assuming is what the thought is. Where Assault Horizon, that's where you felt like it was lacking compared to the other Ace Combat games, where you just had a little bit more of that freedom where you can choose an attacker during a fighter-based game. It's just usually Russians. Well, you know what? Hindsight's 2020. They're not wrong. It's because look what's happened now today. So maybe we were on to something 10 years ago with all those games. Maybe it was the sign. If I remember correctly, all the aircrafts are free to use right out of the gate in Assault Horizon for both single and multiplayer, right? It was just unlocking skins for them? No. Thunderous. That you still were given the planes. It kind of like was unlocked. But it was like mission progression is how you got them. It was like, okay, now you got these planes to get from. Then I could see that being like, yeah, you're given the planes now as like in pieces. Dogfight mode's more cinematic. Great for an arcade game. I keep forgetting what the name of that arcade game was that I played a long time ago, but that's what made me realize, like, oh, so that's why I wasn't too much of a fan of Assault Horizon. It wasn't the game itself, it was the dogfight mode. Dogfight mode, great as an arcade style game. Not really fun for an Ace Combat game on the console or PC. Yeah, you know my thought process there, Soul. That's how I was thinking about the Freedom Aircraft selection. Alright, good. Good, I didn't... That's why I wanted to talk that part out loud. Any media that antagonizes the Belkans is just propaganda. Get out of here, Alexandro. Get out of here. This is Northern Navian news. We don't talk about that stuff. But to sum it all up is like, I'm not saying you're wrong for for hating Ace Combat Assault Horizon. And I'm not saying you should hate it just because. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying have your thoughts, have your emotions, have your feelings, and what you believe the game is, and then go back to it and challenge those ideas, and then see if they still hold up. And if they don't hold up, then kind of think through, okay, maybe there's something more to it that I'm just not seeing. Not in the game, but maybe there's something else that I don't like. And when you find it, then you're like, oh, and then kind of compare it to previous games and think, oh, so that's why I don't like this part, because this is why. But it was definitely more, I will say, Assault Horizon was definitely had that streamline to it, like Call of Duty. So that's where I can see people calling it Call of Plane. What do they call it? Call of Ace, Call of Combat. Soul is Belkophobic. No. I'm Nordic Chad. Mockstorm. Yes, Mockstorm. Thank you. I keep forgetting it. I gotta write that down. Anyways. Sorry about the literal rant on that. Let's go back here.
For the next 2 weeks, the 8,192 supercomputers would work non-stop calculating the fragment's destined point of impact. Fragments within range headed towards metropolitan areas were given higher priority over fragments hitting unpopulated areas. If Stonehenge's operators wish to keep casualties to a minimum, they need to make every shot count.
NASA video. Or Photoshop.
The synthesized control network has identified a fragment headed straight for a populated...
This one right here. Please, when you go into here, I don't believe it was Turret 3 that was destroyed, that lost its power. And I am not saying that the thing that it was targeting was the asteroid headed towards Farbanti. There is no hint or indication that states that in any of the lore or material. However, I wanted to have a little bit of creative freedom without destroying the lore, and just, without even saying it but showing it, hint that this was a possibility. This is one of the reasons, and maybe it could explain why Farbanti was not spared from an asteroid. Because I kept looking at that coordinates and I thought Farbanti is literally right in, it's like perfectly in that zone. How come it got hit? And if so, what was the reason? First thought it was floating in my head was everybody else that's not Erusian didn't like Erusians, so they were like, well, screw them. Just gonna go point my turn over here. Whoa, what's over here? This is more space rocks. And then Farbanti's like just smashed, just gone, done. I don't know, until Project Ace sends a like a book or tweet or something, I don't know, something that says, yeah, they just said, take care of Farbanti, or they looked the other way. I'm not gonna immediately believe that it was a conspiracy until Project Ace says otherwise. But another thought that to make it a little bit more reasonable, without making everybody else instead of Erusia seem heartless, because I don't think they would have been that heartless in that scenario. It's, we're all in this together. We need to survive. They confirm it's canon by claiming this video. I mean, what? Damn it, Scrimp, don't do that to me. Do not do that to me. If I saw any of them in the chat, you know how much I'd be fanboying and flipping out? It'd be ridiculous. I'd be too excited. I wouldn't be, like, composed. So with, to make it like you could see it as like a reasonable progression that makes, or reasonable progression, a progression of story that would make sense and fit without breaking the current lore is that, yes, Farbanti's in the zone, but the asteroid was coming in outside of the zone, and it would have been too late to target that hunk of rock and take care of it, because it was in a higher zone. Hello, Rewo? Rewo? R-E-W-O. I don't know how I can't pronounce that. I am terrible at reading. I'm not gonna lie. No, I don't have a disability. Some words are hard for me to read. Especially in name form, because I'm like, how do I say that? Because I keep thinking. Reading was not my strongest subject in school. Neither was English and writing. So that was option 2. Now, kind of a option 2/3 is that, okay, yes, it's coming in from outside the zone and gonna hit at a certain time, but they did have the technology to calculate it and kind of hit it just right. They could potentially time it. I could see them timing it just right, where it just was just over the city and they could get it before it hits it. And that's where my thought process was, ooh, what if they were aiming at it? And it's like, they're getting ready to hit it at this moment in time. We got to do this right now. But they're so focused on it because then at that moment before they pull the trigger, Stonehenge gets hit by an asteroid and it destroys one of the batteries that powers up that one turret that was going to be shooting over there. And that would also kind of explain why an asteroid took out one Stonehenge turret, because then that also tells that they were just getting bombarded. They had so many asteroids that they had to take care of, and it was just chaos everywhere. They just was like the worst rush hour ever, but it's just with space rocks.
Area. The coordinates are uploaded to one of Stonehenge's railguns. It receives the data and takes aim. The barrel is in position. The countdown begins.
Like focus.
An explosion shakes the complex. The railgun that was about to fire goes offline. What caused the explosion? The crew quickly learned that Stonehenge was hit by an asteroid fragment. Although the railgun received no damage, the meteor obliterated the railgun's main power supply. Without power, the railgun cannot fire its ammunition. Stonehenge's crew immediately fight the fire and prevent it from spreading. Stonehenge has only 7 operational railguns left. One less railgun means more fragments are able to slip past Stonehenge and strike the planet's surface. And one of those fragments that was supposed to be taken out is headed for Eruge's capital, Farbanti.
New Clorox
Hey,
disinfecting mist.
Clorox.
Aerosol free and
Clorox
kills
here.
99.9% of germs on hundreds of surfaces.
Alright, so this is where I'm going to end the video playing without the sound. Because like I said, there was music that was copyright. And I think it would it's going to transfer over to this stream. I don't want to cause any issue with that. So I'm just going to scroll through. So this one is I talk about the aftermath. I talk about Anya first. Talk about how Ameria, they were hit pretty hard too. Their economy went down, but they quickly rebounded from that because they were prepared. They were prepared. Their defense, they were on the defensive. They were ready for this. So despite major areas that affected their economy, they were able to quickly get back up and rebuild because the people were ready. They were planning for this. They had the right mindset. They were prepared, ready to go. Estavakia, on the other hand, we're trying to copy Usea, except Usea is a bunch of nations working together to make not only 1 but 3 anti-asteroid weapons. And Estavakia is just one individual nation that tried to they basically bit off more than they could chew. and they were just destroyed, like absolutely demolished. Bankruptcy, foundations uprooted, nobody had homes, a lot of homelessness, and then it just escalated into anarchy because the government couldn't handle it, and then it became a civil war, and it was just two sides fighting. They were given aid as much as they can, Ameria was, but obviously one side turned it into a conspiracy for the other to, that would eventually lead into the invasion, the Amerindian-Estovakian War, which you see in Ace Combat 6, which is another game that a lot of people have, a lot of people in the community say is like cringe just because of the lines. I don't find them cringe. I find that they make sense based on the circumstances in the story. I don't know. It's funny how I notice a trend. It's like right after Zero, it just goes. It's like, it's cringe. It's bad. It's this. And it's like, okay, where do we go from here? What happened? What happened, everybody? Why are we saying these things? Did Sly say these and you're like, that's cringe? Well, Sly, I don't think he's a big fan of 6, now that I think about it. But don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure I've heard him say that. If not, I could be thinking of... Now, I will say for a fact, he definitely said that Joint Assault is by far the worst Ace Combat game. I still have yet to play or watch that game. I heard it's really bad. I'm kind of a little optimistic to see if it's really that bad. But if it's really that bad, I'm kind of in for a sad, depressive time. Where if I do have to make a video on that one, I'm just gonna fly through it, and it might just be a parody video at that kind. Now, one last thing I want to say. I had to cut out a big portion in this video. And it's this zone right here, which is Nordernavik. Nordernavik was going to be talked about in the Planetfall and Aftermath video. However, as soon as I was kind of wrapping things up with Yuzia and Anya, there was so much like interesting info that I've never heard of, never known about, and that was the first time I learned about that phone game, Northern Wings. Also, this map is incorrect. I got the wrong map again too. There's no Britain right there. It's supposed to be British Isles, unless I just drew that I think I drew that very poorly now that I think about it. Yeah, I did. So when I was reading through Northern Wings, that's when I was like, who's talking to you? Is this being streamed on Twitch as well? It's not being streamed on Twitch. It's YouTube. I'm not gonna go into Twitch. And I'm talking to you guys. I'm just talking to you. Plus, I'm kind of just sharing my thoughts out loud as well. So anyways, back to Nordernavik. Learning about Northern Wings, and then Ace Combat 5 being my first ever Ace Combat game that I played, so you know that it has a special place in my heart, and I do find the Greymen interesting. Reading about Northern Wings and reading about Grendel Squadron made me fall in love with Nordernavik. Just seeing their reason as to why they stay neutral and why they have Grendel Squadron be this secret ops squadron that goes around and secretly causes wars to get other nations fighting each other so they don't pull Nordernavik into a war or fight against Nordernavik while they're trying to, stay out of things and try to rebuild as best as they can and get stronger. And I read that as I was reading through Grendel Squadron's lore, I was like, wow, they are more Greymen than Greymen. And that is something. That is awesome. They might be even way more... I think their evil levels put them well above Gray Men evil, because going out to cause war, secretly cause war between other nations so that your nation doesn't have to go into war, that is pretty evil. And plus, on the basis of fear of war, Nordernavik did all of that secretly so that they wouldn't go to war, because they feared that they were going to be pulled into war. And it was like, if they fight each other, we're all good. We'll just watch from the sidelines. That's what we like. That's what we do best. We're over here. Nobody remembers us, but we're over here. And we're pulling the strings. And I'm like, wow, that is awesome. That is ridiculously awesome. And I love it. Now it's not canon. I will say Northern Wing is not canon. We don't even know if there was a Grendel Squadron at all. But I feel like PA likes to kind of tease it a little bit, like, hey, maybe. Now, when I talked about Northern Wings in the third video, Nordernavik, I kind of did it as like a pseudo review a little bit, not it's kind of like a video game review, but I just reviewed the missions. Now, the mission where you got to destroy the Arkbird, that is a big lore contradiction. I made a big joke out of it. It doesn't really upset me that much. It's just mostly, I thought, make a big joke out of it. So, rather than have Grendel destroy the Arkbird, to make it the lore fit with Ace Combat entirely, if that's what you wanted to do, it would be a lot more interesting if, during that mission where Rosgreaves had to shoot down the Arkbird, they unbeknownst to them, were being chased by a huge Belkan squadron, but that Belkan squadron never got to them because 3 unknown planes met the Belkan squadron, and all of the Belkans were downed or retreated, and they never reached Rosgreaves, and nobody knows except for those 2 groups, and that was kept a secret. Maybe even Vincent Harling, I don't know how. Probably like through intercepted messages to some degree. And plus, no, I'm not gonna get into that one. That was kind of dumb. They'll just be here all night. That would be something for later. But that would kind of like, you know, it fits in. You still have it during that time fit with it, but it doesn't destroy the lore from the past. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's there, but you don't see it. But it happened. You just didn't see it. And that would be like a cool way to kind of tie in like other games too, kind of like have that little nostalgia aspect to it for the old fans, but it's still a new game because now you're getting it from a different perspective. Like you are behind the scenes, and I think I enjoy mostly behind the scenes stuff like that. I like looking into like behind the scenes of movies, like in Lord of the Rings, how they did it. Behind the scenes with Ace Combat, how's it done? Even like behind the scenes, like how a video is being made and what the YouTuber's thought process was. I find that very interesting. How does it all fit? What were you thinking during that time? And what was cut out? I always like to hear out what the cut content was. Now, again, Northern Wings could have just been that fun little spin-off game that they just wanted to make for fun, which is perfectly fine. But that is why, excuse me, it's getting a little late. So that is why I decided to make Nordernavik its own video. And I'm glad I did, because Planetfall and Aftermath, believe it or not, was going to be like my last video ever. It was just going to be 2 videos. It's 2 videos. And I was just going to talk about that. It's usually a symptom of my ADHD where I kind of start something and I don't finish or I don't continue on. And it was going to be that. And it even goes with the ending of this because I don't have a traditional, like, if you like this video, please subscribe and all that jazz. It's very, I'm going to mute. Hey pilots, thank you so much for watching my lore video. I hope that this video helped you learn about the storyline within the Ace Combat games. I'm not even narrating this. This is just images and music's playing. If you like what you saw, please like and share this video with other Ace Combat fans. Also, feel free to leave a comment. My name is Salutis Eversole, and thank you for watching. So I left it very ambiguous. And say, I'll see you next time. Because I wasn't sure if there was ever going to be a next time. But once that video was released, Nordinovik just kept, like, was egging me on in the back of my head. It was like Call of Duty Black Ops, but with Nordinovik. And I just was like, I cannot let that go. That's like, it is a literal, like, thing I cut out, and I cannot let that go because it is so interesting. I've never even learned about that. And I was just thinking, what can I do with this? How can I kind of explain it? Oh, maybe I can do like a pseudo review. Let's do that and talk about how these are literally more Greymen than Greymen, and the Greymen don't even know these guys exist. And this is awesome. I love this. I gotta share this with everybody. Everybody's gotta know. And I believe by doing that, it just kept going. It kept going. It kept going. My interest kept peaking. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. I want to talk about this one. And then over time, I was like, I think I'm starting to like this. And then I'm looking back on my videos and I'm seeing I'm making some progress. And then I'm thinking, I want to make more progress. I want to get better at drawing. I want to actually be good at drawing. And that, I had to take a hiatus, which really affected the upload schedule big time. But you could tell I was just uploading consistently. But the drawings weren't as good. Now it's starting to become more polished, a lot more form, more fundamentals. But it's taken a lot longer. Now I'm trying to kind of go return to form in a sense, but not get back to that old school, just circle, there you go, call it a day. I want to keep those fundamentals, but now I want to make it as, not basic, simple. I want to make it as simple as possible. That is something that I'm still learning, that I'm still working through, but it's definitely getting better. Like today, I only spent an hour working on one drawing off of a perspective thing that I did yesterday. And it turned out pretty good. You know what? I'm going to show you. Let me get an upload thing going. Let's get the music playing. Please give me a few minutes. Please don't leave. I'm going to put it up on stream. I just gotta upload it to Discord. Excuse me, I apologize for me yawning. We'll do 50% opacity right there. Go right into Discord, put this on. Scrimp, I just saw my DMs. What are you doing? Get out of there. Just telling me to get gleeped. How dare you? How dare you, Scrimp? I should kick you off a mod. He's a good mod. He's good. I love my mod team. They're awesome. Go live picture. Good to go on that. Where am I going? How are you guys doing so far with the music? Good? I dare you to show the stream. Are you guys seeing Discord? Oh, thank God. I was like... Good. I'm sorry, I'm just reading through stuff. Oh, wait, maybe you can see it right here. Do you see it right here? Hang on. It's a little delayed. I think I still have the Discord link up. Yep, okay, there it is. Sorry, I gotta fix the delay. This is what I worked on today. So I used a 3D model online, kind of angled it away, and then I traced the silhouette. It's literally a 3D model, traced the silhouette. And then what I'm doing is, it's not just like trace and forget. When I'm tracing out the silhouette, I'm thinking about a simple shape, simple line, and then from there, I am literally like, okay, the outline needs to be thick. I'm gonna look at examples online from other artists, see how they did it. Like, biggest one so far has been Skylar Anderton on how she did a falcon drawing. I believe she did a falcon drawing because it looks like it's in her style. And her line variation, like within the outline, all of it is the same thickness, like it's from an animation. However, on the inside, I think it's the same thickness, but she changes it to a different color, which gives it the illusion that it is a thinner, lighter line, like right here with the tail. That's what I'm going for more. And this is an SU-33. It could be something else. I could make a SU-35, SU-37 yellow. But for this scene, it's with Kimona, the battle, and I'm going to have more planes that I'm going to get the silhouettes of flying through. And there's no shame in doing that. It's a vehicle. It's fine. Characters, I want to do more where I get its form and then I create the character that I want in the style. It's just, that's all you gotta do. That's how you practice. That's how you get better and reference professional artists. And artists that, even if they're not professional, but are really good. Like I said, Skylar Anderton's really good. I like how she does her work. Very good. I encourage, like, follow her on Twitter too. She's really good. And not just Ace Combat stuff too. Anything that catches her interest. It's very interesting. I will say that, and I'm not exaggerating. So, like right now, outline, I like how I focused on that, and it's even in a pencil mod too. I do like this one. Yeah, you like the angle? That's what I like about this too. I had to fight through the model and screenshot it as much as I could, but the perspective on the rocket, the perspective on the launch station and the antennae, that was what I worked on yesterday nonstop. And that's why these take so long too. Let me grab another version to show you. Let me go to my Discord. I like this. I gotta find software where I can transfer iPad over onto the screen and do drawings. Okay, so right here, my main focus was 3-point perspective. Now I don't have the point up there because I don't have the thing on the opacity. I got 1 point here and the other point here as far as I can to make it reasonable onto where I like. And then my third point is down here. And all I did was just like a CAD drawing. Remeasure, realign, that's where that line goes. And it's not just like one side go through all the lines and the other side go through all the lines. No. My thought process on how to build this up is like geometric and strategic. I build from the ground up is what I'm doing, and that's how my brain works. That's just how I think. if I don't start from there, I'm gonna get all confused and everything's not gonna look correctly. So by doing this, even though it takes me a long time to do this type of stuff, it gets better results, and I think it shows. And when a video comes out, that's what I'm going for, is very good presentation, just unforgettable scenes, even if they're not animated. I want a scene to stick like this. When you think of a battle over Kimona, over a rocket launch, I want you to remember this extreme angle, this action shot where an Erusian fighter is trying to go down like a missile dive bomb on this thing, but there's gonna be an ISAF fighter flying up to intercept and try to get him out of the way. Basically just, no, don't fly right there, and just get him on his sights. Should I plug the Discord? So yes, Scrim. You can plug the Discord. Plug it. So it's so funny how 3 years ago I would have been more focused on the lore, but today it's a mixture of Ace Combat lore, but my passion for just wanting to show what I've learned and share it with you guys. It's very, I will say, when you're learning to draw, it's gonna be hard. It's not easy. You're gonna have a lot of days where you feel like you just can't draw, you're never good. Even today, as I was doing the outline, I was doubting myself. That's my imposter syndrome kicking in. But I told myself, this is what I chose. I've spent days upon days upon days arguing with myself the style. This is the style, and it looks good. There's still more to it, but line variation, everything. It's just I don't feel like it's wasted. I don't feel like my time studying was wasted, because I feel like I'm getting closer to the point where I can finally say, let's make an Ace Combat video, and let's knock it out of the park. Let's show everybody, like, hey, I'm back. This is a video on Kimona. You're probably not gonna think too much of it, because it's just Kimona, but I hope you enjoy it. And I'm gonna try to make it as entertaining and interesting and full of lore as much as I can, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn something from it, because there's quite a bit to it. So the VC gang is trying to gatekeep the Discord. Oh my god, do I have to stop them? Bozo 1, Bozo 2. Do I need to get you guys on stream? I think I could do that, but I don't want to do that. That'd be too mean. I want to respect their privacy. Just they're concerned that they might be too spicy for people. Oh yeah, I can see that. They're self-aware. They're pretty self-aware, but they're good. Don't worry about them. Join the VC on stream. I can't do that without warning them. Plus, I don't know. Okay, no, for the stream's sake. Yeah, don't. I wouldn't do that. What stays in VC stays in VC. Right here, we're professional. God. All right, so it's 11 o'clock. And one of the plans was, I wanted to play some Elden Ring, but do you guys want to watch one more video? No, I have nothing to do with this. The War Maniacs. We are here. We can hear you. Yes, you do. I have a feeling you guys don't want to watch me play Elden Ring. Do you want to watch another video? Maybe not watch Joey. I had a lot of people. Excuse me, I had a lot of people, especially Keystone. Send like a small complaint in the comments about my audio mixing, and that's where I got hyper aware about you got to have some good audio mixing that's not gonna make your audience's ears bleed. King Assault Games on Miz. What? Are you kidding me, Iz? War Maniacs on Pixie? What the heck, guys? Jeez. Here, I'll join in. You know what? I'll join in VC later tonight. Probably have to get some caffeine into me. But you know what? If you guys want to, I'm okay. We can end it right here, and if I can, I could probably try to do another stream tomorrow. But I think what I'll try to do is I'll do it for the second channel. I gotta get that second channel back up. I know it's called Salutis Live, but I'm changing the name to the Soul Stream. I think it's just better to do it like that. And we could just have nights where we could just talk, have some fun. You can watch me play any games too that you want me to play, or I want to play too. It's just, it doesn't always have to be Ace Combat. That's the channel where it's like, if I want to be done with lore, which I don't think I'm never gonna be done with lore. I'm gonna keep going till I die. So there you go. I'm going till I die. I will never retire from this. But when I want to take those nice breaks where I gotta recharge my Ace Combat brain, I'm gonna do something else on that channel. That's what it's gonna be right there. Aw, thanks, Iz. We'd like to support you. Is cool. Become VTuber. Does this count with my face cam? Is this a VTuber thing? I'm gonna have to ask VTuber Tommy. Soul VTuber. You know what? Maybe I can get like the robotic movements too, if I think about it. It's like the Avatar. Hang on, so it's just like, no, that's C-3PO. Hang on, that's not right. Should call it the Gleep. Solitaire stream. You know what? That sounds very Dark Soulsy. That's not a bad idea. But I don't know, the Soul stream just sounds kind of like chill, very relaxed, very nice. It's a idea for like, just kind of like, hey, join the stream and just relax, lay back and have fun, and enjoy yourself. And I hope I can entertain you, even though my jokes are very bad. My jokes are very bad. I will say that. Even looking back here. Ugh. I'm gonna do one more video. What should we do? Let's do Excalibur. Very dig Gleep.
Real history, helping fans old and new understand the endgame lore from the Ace Combat series. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Enjoy! 1981, the height of the Cold War between
This will be the last
Osea
one.
and Yugdobania. Both superpowers are building more and more ICBMs
No,
and
VTuber. I'll be a
anti-ICBM tech
VTuber.
in order to show off their military strength.
I am a
While both
VTuber. Look
nations
at
were
me.
competing
I got
against
my
each other,
avatar right
Belkin
now
noticed the
as we
increased
speak.
arsenal
This is
of
my
weapons
avatar.
and wondered what would happen if those ICBMs were pointed towards us.
Yes, it's very real.
Fearing
I have the
that this
highest
hypothetical
high-tech
scenario
avatar
could
you have
become
ever
real,
seen.
Belka initiated the Ballistic Missile Defense Program, which
Hey,
was intended to
that's right, I
safeguard
just
against
reused an
ICBM
asset.
attacks in the event of a worldwide nuclear
excuse
war.
me.
Engineers across the nation came together and presented various concepts on how to take out an ICBM before it reached its target. The concept of a laser interception system, Excalibur, was eventually chosen as the best method of protection.
I think this calls for a little history lesson.
Alright. Talking about a laser weapon in the
Excalibur
ground.
was a Belkin superweapon designed to intercept and destroy
trying
ICBMs
to
with a
pull a
long-range
case on.
chemical laser.
Case on.
This superweapon was given the name Excalibur
Look that
because
up.
the main tower's broad, rectangular shape looks a lot like a sword stuck in stone.
Why was I looking up inferiority complex
Although
versus
the blade-like
superiority
tower is the most
complex?
iconic feature, there is more to the structure
was
than
they
just
doing
the
that?
tower that holds the laser.
This is probably a sign from God.
The entire structure of Excalibur covered hundreds of
Keisan,
acres.
pronounced Keisan, is an
The
independent
center
English
of
and
the main
Japanese language
installation
VTuber. She
consisted
streams
of the
primarily
main
on
tower,
YouTube and
the tallest structure of the
Mildom,
weapon,
and is streamed
a
on
square foundation
Nico,
with 6
Nico,
projections
Nico,
and
Nico.
6regulator towers.
Nope.
Excalibur's
What does she
optical
do? What's her
amplifier
avatar? She got an
and
avatar?
radome were situated
just doing
atop
what
a
she does?
slender aperture that extended from the top of the tower. Both
Oh,
sides
is
of
that
the
what she
tower
does?
had
She's just-
built-in
she's just
exhaust
herself.
vents that would discharge the superheated fumes being generated
I'll
from
be
the
the next
laser
case
in
then.
order to prevent the tower from overheating. This tower stood atop the center
Got
of a
that Zero
square
Music
foundation.
Kid's head.
Coming out of the sides of the foundation were
Kinda
6
pixie.
projections, 4 primary and 2 secondary,
I like
that
this one
extended
too.
several hundred meters. Each of these projections supported their own
Well, I've
variable
been
hydraulic
doing, like,
regulator tower, which stood several hundred
Perspective
meters
drawing
tall.
styles.
It
and
is assumed that the
fundamentals.
regulator tower surrounding the
was
main
able to do
tower
it.
generated a repulsive electromagnetic field that would contain the accumulating energy from the base of the tower in order to prevent any unwanted discharges.
It's like Mortal
Electrical
Kombat
energy was
lightning
produced via
from the
4
Thunder
power
God himself.
generators located at the cardinal points of the structure. The weapon was also surrounded by 3 large solar panel arrays that served as a reserve power source in case something happens to the power generator.
Now those solar
In
power
order to
panels
fire
didn't
the
do
weapon, the 4
squat
power
at the end of the
generators
day.
produced high voltage
Excalibur
currents
needed
that
those
were fed into Excalibur's base via power conduits.
those power generators.
The
Those
electrical
solar
charge
panels
would then
didn't do
accumulate and travel
squat
up the central
diddly.
tower. Once the charge reached the top, the weapon would then fire the laser through an optical amplifier on its radome. This laser beam was known to emit an energy output of 1.21 gigawatts and would last for
1.21
approximately
gigawatts?
7 to 9 seconds.
And that's where I also first time I kind of linked a video.
Excalibur
in. It
was able
like, hey, you
to
can
aim
find
the
out more
laser
here.
in almost a 360-degree range of motion.
Please don't get mad at me, ACF.
Once the laser was fired,
you are a very
Excalibur's
cool guy, and
emitter became
last thing I
locked.
want to do is piss
After
you
the
off.
laser was fired, Excalibur's
It's like,
exhaust
hey, you stole
vents
my video.
opened up
Oh,
to release
no.
the superheated fumes in order to avoid damaging the weapon's vital power systems. Once the tower was cooled off, Excalibur was ready to fire again. In order for Excalibur to successfully destroy long-range airborne targets, the weapon was assisted by an array of
I like
low-orbiting
this.
satellites equipped with reflective mirrors that redirected the laser beams. This combined method
Look at
allowed
that.
Excalibur to have a maximum range
Deflected.
of 1,200 kilometers, which is the same range as Stonehenge. Although Excalibur was a long-range weapon, the structure was surrounded by 4 rail-mounted RTLS weaponry for short-range defense. These were based on a network of railroads built around Excalibur's position. Each unit was armed with a laser cannon capable of 360-degree rotation. As an added measure of defense, 4 ECM jamming sites were built south of the main installation. Although the concept of an anti-ICBM laser system was chosen as a symbol of the nation's technological strength in 1981, construction would begin on December 17, 1989 in the centralized region of Tauberg. Excalibur's engineering challenges were undertaken by the South Belka Munitions Factory. The construction crew began clearing the site of overgrowth in order to lay the concrete foundation for the tower. Once the foundation was finished, the crew started to build the cooling systems, power sources, and RTLS defense units in early 1990. By the end of October that same year, the cooling towers, RTLS, and secondary systems were completed. The crew would start building the main tower in 1991 and would finish its construction in June 1993.
You know what?
By August
I kinda
9th,
wanna see somebody who knows how to do
Excalibur
8-bit
was deemed complete,
art design,
including all
art
RTLS
style.
and secondary systems.
Make kind of like
However,
redo
a
this
team of
video,
scientists
or
and
kind of like
engineers
redo a
would
scene
visit
in
the
this
site
video,
and later confirm that
just to
Excalibur
see
was fully
how an
functional on
8-bit
July 18th, the following
looks.
year. Excalibur was ready to defend the nation from any foreign nuclear missile attacks.
What
But
did
the
I say
weapon
that for? Hang
would
on.
Never get the opportunity. Construction in June
Listen to how I say the word foreign.
1993. By August 9th, 1993, Excalibur was deemed complete, including all RTLS and secondary systems. However, a team of scientists and engineers would visit the site and later confirm that Excalibur was fully functional on July 18th, the following year. Excalibur was ready to defend the nation from any foreign nuclear missile attacks.
Foreign nuclear missile attacks. Foreign. I think I was trying to take a breath there for a second.
But the weapon would never get the opportunity to destroy an ICBM because 8 months later, Belka invaded Osea, Sapin, and its eastern neighbors on March 25th, 1995.
What about domestic
Excalibur
missile
remained
attacks? Oh
inactive
no.
during Belka's Blitz
Oh, no.
invasion
We
and the
don't talk about
subsequent
those.
Allied counterattack. But Excalibur would become operational after the Belkan army was pushed out of conquered territory from the Blitz invasion. The first wartime deployment of the weapon took place on May 17, 1995, during the Allies' air raid on Gladyston. Excalibur successfully wiped out an Allied squadron operating within Belkan airspace. Luckily for Excalibur,
that's interesting.
the Allied forces were unaware
Just
of the
use the same
attack.
models.
On May 19th, the weapon again openly attacked Allied aircraft during the Allies'
Oh, this
offensive
one.
through the Cheyenne Plains. Excalibur shot down a convoy of Ocean transport
I like that
aircraft
one.
as
Show
well
the
as
laser
several
off the
Allied
side.
fighters. However, Excalibur's personnel were about to go on the defensive very soon.
X and Hammer photoshopped that one.
May 23rd,
That
a
looks so
flight of
bad.
Allied fighters and the mercenary
Oh my
squadron
goodness. Okay, freeze here. I think this is one of the times I remember working on this scene on my phone, and I was outside grilling burgers. And this is the time where I was practicing shading. I was trying to start to get comfortable, trying to force myself to shade more objects, shade more vehicles, shade more people, get the shapes down, shade, shade, shade. Problem was, the extent of my knowledge on shading was literally take black, lighten it up, and then that was your shadow, which was a very bad way to go about it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Your shadows will come out as muddy. There's a technique to do it with a different blending layer, a different blending mode. If anyone has trouble with that, let me know in Discord and I can help out with that, because I've spent so many days trying to figure that one out too. It's a learning process when you're trying to learn by yourself and teach yourself. So looking at this, I do see shadow. I'm definitely seeing shadow under the tanker, on the tanker, but not a lot, obviously. That's not confident shading. I see shadow under Cypher's plane. I see some shadow under Pixie's plane. Problem is, I am so uncertain of putting in shadow and shading. This is not confident. Before seeing this scene, what I thought in my head originally, it was enough shadow. It was enough shading. It stood out. Now I'm looking and I'm like, wow, what was I think? I did not know squat back then. I feel like I gotta change it. I gotta change the nose on this too. That's like a pencil nose. That's like a beak. It's a little beak.
were dispatched to destroy Excalibur.
But yeah,
Their approach
moral of the story is,
was quickly detected on Belkan radar.
when you look back on your
Personnel
old works, you're
ordered
going
the
to
four
see
jamming sites to
significant
increase their
difference. You're going to
ECM
feel like you're
output.
looking at somebody
Excalibur
else's work.
fired and destroyed the Allies' tanker aircraft, forcing the pilots to break formation. Excalibur needs to take out the smaller fighters before they get any closer. While Galm team destroyed the jamming sites, Excalibur fired repeatedly. Once the last jamming site was disabled, the pilots began their attack on the laser weapon itself. Excalibur was
space.
far from defenseless thanks to its 4 RTLS railway cannons. As soon as the Allied pilots got closer to the main installation, the RTLSs opened fire.
I'll never forget
But Galm
foreign.
team's flight lead, Cypher, was able to take out all of the RTLSs. Cypher then eliminated the 4 power generators. Excalibur's personnel consequently began pulling power from the weapon's subterranean reserves in order to continue firing the main weapon. But Cypher destroyed the tower's
Whee!
optical
There goes
projector
Cypher.
and rendered the weapon inoperable.
The Allied forces then proceeded to bombard the tower with missiles. They were going to make sure that Excalibur would never be used again. The bombardment caused the tower to tip sideways. Soon, the concentrated damage and physical stress eventually caused the King's Sword to sever in half. The Allies are victorious.
There it goes. Whee!
The upper part of the superstructure plummeted to the ground and destroyed much of the surrounding infrastructure. The Allied forces were free to continue their march towards Dinsmark. After the war, no plans were made to try to repair or reconstruct the damaged tower. Excalibur was abandoned, and the overgrowth surrounding the facility slowly reclaimed the land.
Okay. That's something I kind of want to draw as like a side project just for myself. I kind of want to draw Excalibur, the ruins of Excalibur, and what it would look like 20 years later or 30 years later. It would definitely look spooky, but it would look cool. Kind of like how we saw Stonehenge. You know, you see the remnants. Heck, it would be even awesome too for like a new Ace Combat game. And for a certain mission, if you're in the area, you fly over that old area, the ruins, and that is the Easter egg. It's like, there it is. Those are the ruins. There goes Excalibur. I remember fighting there in Ace Combat Zero. That'd be so sweet. That'd be so cool. Yeah, I definitely, if I ever do that, this needs to be a different color. Needs to be rust colored. More moss.
There is evidence that the abandoned ruins of Excalibur still stand in Tauberg's countryside. Maybe, one day, another laser interception system like Excalibur could be built in the future. But only time will tell. If you like this video of Strange Real History,
that's another remake
please
I should do. Excalibur. I thought there was a pic of the ruins in the end montage in Zero. You know what? That's something I should look at. Yeah, that should be something to look into. Excuse me, here's another drawing. Actually, there is another drawing I want to show you. It's for all of you Planetfall fans. You guys want some Planetfall? Scrimp, I know you're gonna like this one. If I can find it. Thing. Can I find it? Doo-doo-doo. Give me a second. Give me a second. That's the wrong one. One second, fellas and ladies. I'm assuming there's ladies in here, but there's not. It's a bunch of dudes. Everyone's a guy. Hey, you're a guy. I'm a guy. Everyone's a guy. Okay, that's uploaded. Let me get back to Discord. This is my treat for you, fellas, or everybody. So remember, where's Planetfall?
The battle's on with X-Shot Water's epic blasters. Fill in 1 second, rapid
those look
seal,
like
and
fun.
fire up to 35 feet. Dunk to fill, seal, and find your target.
Really?
Fast accuracy with a fight. You're always ready with X-Shot Water Fast Fill Blast.
We reload it in the back. Oh, that's pretty cool. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? Where's the thing? Where's the thing? Thing, 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 thing. Okay, so that image right there. Okay, you see that? Asteroid approaching Earth. The one in Strange Real. I think I posted this before. That would be part of the remaster, technically. Until years down the road, until I redo it again. Once I figure out how to do mountains on a planet. When I find a good reference, but this is what I would do. What do you think? Water gun, you need that? I do need that. Is everyone ahead of me despite YouTube saying I'm at live? Well, I'm definitely well ahead of everybody because of the delay that I accidentally put on. So it's better than before. I would definitely fix the earth a little bit more, kind of make it more with the colors, but I like where this stands. That'll be part of a remake. Like, let's go back. First time. Here we go. Got lights and colors. It's all colorful. Very colorful. So, I think it's about time I should pack it up right now. Where is my stream? There we go. Let's put it on back here. It truly is night and day. Yeah, I cannot lie. I agree with you. Space Rock. I totally get what you mean, man. Heck, well, my favorite games for Ace Combat was Infinity just because it was just a bunch of iconic missions mashed together. Yeah, it's good. It's definitely good. The journey of improvement starts with but a single step. I took many. You took many. I did take many steps just to get to that progression. I like that. I actually like that quote. It makes it sound like too, like, oh, it takes one step to get to the end, and it's like, I took too many steps. I had to take many. So yeah. So I'm very tired right now. After work, I need to get ready for bed. I like the reaction to my old videos. It's been a while. I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I don't know how to end this, to be honest. I never do. I always just wish I could just keep going on and on and on forever. Just rambling and talking and having a good time with you guys during that moment. So, everyone, you have a good night. Take care. I'm gonna let this run for a little bit, okay? Alrighty. So, I'll either see you on Twitter. I'll try to post. I'm gonna try to post more on the community post as much as I can. Anything interesting. And what else? And Discord, obviously Discord. Join the Discord. We're very chill. We like to have fun. Within reason, of course. Obviously, don't be going in there all chaos mode. Glad we can join you. Thank you. But more importantly, thank you for sticking for seeing one of my videos, whichever it was, interested in clicking on it and watching a man's attempt at drawing lore and being entertained by it. Thank you for helping me get to 10,000 subscribers. That is quite an achievement that I never thought I would ever get to. I'm still having a hard time. Kind of letting that sink in, just like, dude, I have 10,000 subscribers. Wow. It's like, no way. I look at the screen, I'm like, I do. Oh my god. So, next goal is let's get a video out. Let's just get a video out, nice and drawn. And to get to there, I'm gonna go to bed. So, if you want to see me stream more just random stuff that isn't Ace Combat related, we're gonna go over to the second channel. Turn on notifications for that, please, if you would like to check out and get notified whenever I stream there. I'll make sure to stream more on there when I'm just like, I want to play a video game. Throw on the stream. Whoever joins, we join, and we're gonna have fun. So, everyone, take care. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. As always, I will see you in the next video. Take care.